early Sunday.
The operation, confirmed by Ukraine's security service, resulted in damage to multiple aircraft and infrastructure.
At least 31 Palestinians were killed and dozens more injured on Sunday while en route to an aid distribution center in Gaza. Joseph Eckerson with the latest.
Witnesses and health officials say the group was struck by Israeli fire as they approached the humanitarian site.
One person was killed and at least 11 others injured in a mass shooting at a house party in Catawba County, North Carolina, early Sunday.
Authorities say gunfire erupted during a large gathering, prompting multiple emergency calls.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent stated that the U.S. economy remains resilient despite ongoing trade tensions and market volatility.
He acknowledged challenges posed by recent tariff disputes, but expressed confidence in domestic growth prospects.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact.
I can see we're going to have
independent fact-checking and corrections
again.
are encouraged.
Already.
Can I get some coffee in here, please?
I could get some coffee here, please.
And hot. My dog is your mind's best friend.
Hey, look, hey.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
All right. I'll stick with 0 now. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right. Whoa. That's not right. Look over, I got Kyle Kalinske over there. I'm not Kyle Kalinske. I don't even want to be Kyle Kalinske. He's got a wife and, I don't know, manly. I'm sorry. I didn't even need to say that about Kyle Kalinske. But good morning, folks. New month, new week, new day, new everything. It is Monday, right? Yeah, Monday, June 2nd, 2025. Not a new year. New month, new day, new week, blah, blah, blah. Not a new year, unfortunately. We could use a new year. Let's make it 2030. How about that? Let's do that. And then the world has returned to normal. Listen, the war between John Beavers and Blind Mike has gone on long enough. And if I'm elected, I will end that war on day one. Even before I get to the studio. One phone call. I know exactly what to say. If you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, neither do I. So there you go. Actually, I do. So Blind Mike, my new best friend, Blind Mike. Not really. Blind Mike was on the program Friday. In case you missed it, we had a 15-hour show on Friday. Blind Mike was on. And before Blind Mike came on, several people, he could not come on. Let me just preface this by saying he could not connect. He's a little fuzzy, too. He could not connect because I had a button checked, I guess a StreamYard update that I didn't catch, where guests have to authenticate. Now, what that means is log into YouTube. Now, most of the people who come on this program are already logged into YouTube for some reason, but he could not connect and didn't want to click the authenticate to log into YouTube for some reason. But so Ron Kane had been saying he was going to pussy out for quite some time about that. And then John Beavers came on and called him a pussy. And I believe Steven was on the pussy fence too. See, pussy fence Steven. I don't know if Steven came right out and called him a pussy, but Steven was one believing he was chicken out. It made no sense that he would chicken out, because if he wanted to chicken out, all he had to do was say no on Twitter to me. I don't want to come on the show, or block me, or any of that kind of stuff. But he didn't. He was trying to get on. So then right before he did come on, Beavers was with us and called Blind Mike a pussy. And then Blind Mike was here, and then Beavers was not. He stepped out. Now, let's be clear here. And I'm not defending Beavers, but I am defending Beavers. I'm saying what happened. Beavers was not pussying out. He was thinking, there's no room for me now. First of all, there's 6 layout. I've seen their 6 layout, and it doesn't work. And I'm the 6th guy then, and I'll just get out. And he wasn't supposed to be on the show anyway. So he left. He was doing us a courtesy by stepping out so we could bring Mike in. But Mike took that in watching the program back as pussying out himself, running away. So calling him a pussy and then running away. So now there's friction between John Beavers and Blind Mike. Not friction, whatever. Name calling back and forth. I have to, it's my mandate now to bring peace to the Blind Mike, John Beavers, Slaptail Nation world, because I am the peacemaker. I don't know if you know this about me, but I am. The people call me the peacemaker. Maybe pipe smoker. Something. It's something P and S in there. Peacemaker, P, something. Anyway, I would love to see peace. It's just a misunderstanding. And I don't think Beavers was pussy. And I don't think Beavers is a pussy. I don't think he would do that. But I also didn't think Blind Mike was being a pussy. Whatever. So yeah. So Blind Mike did mention the program a little bit yesterday, and he was talking about. But listen, Ron did the same thing. I don't know. I haven't watched it back. Was Ron with us? Because you can't tell sometimes when Ron is with us or left. But Ron was the guy who called him a pussy too, and then wasn't there to call him a pussy to his face. After that, let's just bring peace to the podcasting universe. That's all I want to do. And then I could die happy. You think that's going to happen? I won't die happy. I will die crying and miserable and crying, Mommy! That's what I'll do. Anyway, CapCut is sponsored. You know CapCut? You know the app? They've been sponsoring us for a while. They're in the link is in the description. But for some reason, I never talk about them. I don't have a commercial for them. I just got a little poster. I'm not going to show the damn poster. You know what CapCut is. Go get the app. But use the link that's in the description. I will show a dopey little commercial video here so I can bring the guys in the back to the front. The guys in the back to the front. Stop with the phone calls. Everybody fucking wants to call me. I am a popular guy. I can't help how popular I am, but people just love me. I'm just a very loved dude. Do you get it? Do you feel the vibe? Do you feel my love? It make you feel. I'm gonna be Adele right now. Make you feel my love. All right. Where's my dopey commercial? I'll just go with this one. Fuck.
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians, coaches who we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
Yeah, so in the room with me now are Stephen Pussy Fence Ortiz and GD. I stirred up all this trouble. Fenderson. Good morning.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Do you carry a purse because you can't keep your money, debit cards, credit cards, and cell phone in your bra because your memories are set to minimum? Don't fear. Come to MindDogTV.com and /merch and buy Titty Totes. Yes, the new under the cup tote for women who aren't sufficient enough to carry their own credit cards, cash, and cell phones in their bra. Titty Totes by Mind Dog TV. Titty Totes, only available at minddogtv/merch.
And they keep it in good brew jars.
Or their sponsor. See, sometimes people sweat, and this you can also use this as a talc.
Oh,
Just,
all right.
Dab a little good brew. Dab a little good brew under the bra. Good brew for your bra to soak up the sweat.
I'm not sure what prompted that, but it's fine. It's all good. Good brew /minddog. Goodbrew.com/minddog. How about that? But there's a link in the description for people and make it just all.
Yeah. So if you have sweaty breastises, put a little good brew under your bra, and it'll soak up the sweat.
I don't.
And you may absorb some good probiotics through your skin.
I don't think I'd want to suck a sweaty titty.
Hold on.
I don't know if that was it. I don't remember that being part of the commercial. I have to reread the script. I don't remember.
I was just gonna say I don't remember
what I love about titties, and then I would not love them about titties. If
we were not talking about them in their nourishment form, or their pleasure form. We were talking about them in their tote form.
Oh.
They're like Transformers. You know, they have tote form, they have pleasure form, they have what was it? They like the Wonder Kids, shape of a pocketbook.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen,
I identify as a transformer.
We interrupt this transformer talk for a special message, a special apology from Stephen, the pussy fence sitter, to Blind Mike. Now, Stephen wants to give a sincere apology. Go ahead, Stephen, take it away.
No, I apologize for saying that he was being a pussy. I was wrong on that portion. He was not being a pussy. He was, I guess, having some real technical difficulties. Fine. I still don't fully approve of his method to a T, but he doesn't seem like a super bad dude. So,
what don't you agree with? What method? What?
I still feel like if he's going to discuss any other performer's material, it should be a thing where he lets them know ahead of time, you know, or at least tags them in it or something. That's my only complaint now, is I wish he was more forefront when he talks about other people's material in their work.
That's really hard to do. I mean, because I talk about, what am I supposed to do? Write to Tom Segura and tell him I'm saying I do it all the time too.
There's a difference. Because when we do it when we're doing it, it's generally on a whim, on a rant during a conversation, and it goes off on a tangent, right? If he's planning a whole hour dedicated to one person, then that prep time should include tagging the person or finding a way to contact the person, be like, "Hey, we're going to critique your work." Like I said, that's my only gripe. But
all right, so let me call Bert Kreischer and tell him I'm going to call him a dick right now.
Go for it.
I'm not going to call him.
Tell him to keep his fucking shirt on and quit being a dick.
Why would I call Bert Kreischer a dick? I would not. I'm sorry.
He seems like a nice guy too.
I don't know enough about him to go either way, so I'm saying nothing.
Well, you just talking about his sweaty tits and his good brew.
First of all, I didn't know he had tits, so
he's adding more to this commercial every time he talks about it.
By the time he's done with this commercial, it'll be a sitcom, a 30-minute situation comedy.
Do you want to see Bert Kreischer's sweaty tits? Get good brew or something.
Yes, I have because now that I didn't even when I know the name Bert Kreischer, I don't have a face to go with it. So when you say Bert Kreischer, I don't realize that's the guy.
Because you're not a fan of the Travel Channel.
Okay. I'm also not a fan of the Foreign Channel, and I'm not a fan of the Hallmark Channel.
Right.
I don't understand.
No, I get it. Me neither. I'm not a fan of any of those channels. I don't even have a channel. Well, I have this channel, but that's the only channel I know.
I'm not a fan of the English Channel.
Well, the English channel's it leads to France, which is kind of nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Right. So you start talking about sitcoms, and I'm thinking about a movie. And here's the plot of the movie: I get beat up, physically beat up by a guy in a wheelchair, a blind guy, a black midget.
black guy.
That'd be you.
Black midget.
Well,
Wow.
what are you, like 4'3" or something?
Close. 4'2" 2.5.
Laying
a
down,
half,
older and
maybe.
I'm shrinking. I'm shrinking with age.
a half gay David
Laying
Tell
down, he's
wannabe.
4'2".
I don't know. I get beat up by all these marginalized people. It's kind of the plot of the movie.
I wish that you would not marginalize my dwarfism.
That's well, I did not know you were officially acknowledge your dwarfism.
Dwarfism. I'm a black dwarf.
Oh, blue. All right. No, I could have sworn that there's something in my head about people who would not acknowledge. Oh, you were talking. Not you were talking. The Rev was talking about Ed Gale, the pervert, racist, weirdo, pedophile.
I don't think the Reverend is a pervert racist.
No, Ed.
Oh,
Ed,
okay, because I don't know Ed.
Well, midget, dwarf, I don't know. So, what is the difference between a midget and a dwarf?
I think it's
like a height differential.
Like 4'1" is.
How about we just throw it in the Google machine?
Yeah, Steven can contribute to the show that way. He can Google.
That time he contributed in some way. So at 10:15.
Okay.
That way Steven can call me a pussy for not Googling on my not Googling on my
pussy.
own.
You don't even show up. You can't even know.
I'm not even that mean. So dwarf. So there is no difference. It's just they're just different terms. But dwarf is a medical term that describes an individual with a height below 4'10". But the term dwarf and midget.
Oh, maybe I should call Rogan midget right now and tell him I'm going to call him a midget. Hello?
Well,
hello,
midget is essentially a slur.
Oh,
midget is a slur, and dwarf is the correct terminology.
I don't know. I'd rather be called a dwarf than a midget. That's just me. Now,
that's what I'm saying.
Well, I had an MG midget. Now, that's a brand of it's a car. Was that whole thing a slur? And why is MG?
I don't know, because there's also some race cars that are called quarter midgets. So yeah, there's a lot of that term out there. So I don't know.
And there are also, I think there's a fly that's called like a midget. That's not a midge fly. I don't know. But no, I guess it depends on it's like the difference between nigger and niggard, you know?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know anything about that. What you just said. No,
niggard.
Whatever.
I thought you knew what a niggard was.
I'm not even gonna try it.
I don't. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be cheap about that. So, yeah. So, Blind Mike turns out is a huge GD fan.
No, he's not. Because if you listen to the thing, he says, "I just don't think he's funny." So, okay, I guess he could be a fan of mine and not a fan of my comedy. You separate the two.
Yeah, he said, "What a great guy! Oh, see, such a good guy."
Yeah, he did say that. He did say I seem like a good guy. He just doesn't think I'm funny.
Yeah. Well, that just makes him normal, right?
Yeah. That just
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he did give you some plugs, though. Now, I think he thinks you were serious about having 3 or 4 more 90-minute specials out there. I'm not sure.
I do.
You don't have 4 more 90s.
I have 3 more, and I'm working on 2 more right now.
Out on tape and on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
Wow. See, I didn't know that because I've never been to your channel.
Or you've probably never been to my website.
I have been to the website.
Oh, you have been to my website, but you probably didn't go to DVDs and shows or something like that.
Well, the website looks like one of these library websites that hasn't been updated since 1994.
Yeah, but I update it all the time. I just don't.
Technology-wise, but yeah, the backbone of the site looks like raw HTML rather than PHP or any dynamic.
And that's probably because the first website I did like 1994, 95. I had to do that in HTML. There was no software.
Right.
And so that's just how a website looks in my head.
That's what that's what that appears like. That's exactly what I was talking about. Yesterday I visited. Here's my fuck up thing. What a fuck up. If I were me, if I did what I did working for me, I would have been fired yesterday. I went to every library. Now, Long Island, I don't know if you know this about Long Island.
Keep talking. I can hear you guys. I just don't want to see your faces.
Kind of long. And there's lots of libraries because every little town has their own library. And I'm thinking like I'm going to hook up paint shows. But I had also put together like a little form letter for venues, beach venues where they have bands and stuff and a bar and all that stuff. So the form letter I had was for pubs and band places. And I went to every library on Long Island's website, found their contact information, and sent them the form letter for the pub. Oh, I could bring paying customers in to buy. They're like, we're a library. We don't sell alcohol and food here. Like,
that.
I spent hours. I mean, a full day Saturday just emailing every 3,000 fucking libraries the wrong fucking form letter.
You're probably banned now because they all think that you think it's a bar.
But look at it this way: the ones that responded back saying we don't serve liquor, they read your form, so now you can target those. Okay, you can target those two and say, I apologize.
I did.
I sent you the wrong form
immediately. But I didn't say I didn't say I apologize. I said I am a fucking idiot. Please hire me.
I won't fuck up the show like I fucked up my initial communication with you.
Right. So it's a terrible marketing mistake. I would fire me like instantly for that. You just blew all our leads, like thousands of leads in one day. You ruined, you stupid fuck. On that note, I have an incredible week lined up here. Tomorrow I have a paint party in the afternoon. Then Wednesday I have a concert in the afternoon. And then Thursday I have a concert in the morning. So I can't do this show. So either I'm going to do a rerun or you can host it. There's no guest schedule. That's why Dylan isn't on Thursday. He's on tomorrow instead of Thursday because I knew I wasn't going to be here. And then Friday I have the Tony Knock 'em Dead comedy murder mystery thing, and then Saturday I have 2 paint parties, and then Sunday I have a outdoor family thing where I have a booth where I'm going to be doing painting demonstrations and selling the paint party stuff. So from tomorrow on, I'm just like balls to the wall, painting and doing music, and don't get a day off. How about that? Tomorrow, Dylan will be here. Dylan
Brody.
No, Bob Dylan.
Dylan. Okay.
Yeah.
Not Chalamet. What's his name? Shalimar. The guy that. I don't know his name. Melomar.
I don't know.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
The guy that played Dylan in the movie.
Jackie will be here Friday. Now, what do you guys want to do a show Thursday without me, or because I could start it here, but then I got to get right.
Yeah, sure. You can start it, and Stephen has no life and nowhere to go, so he wants to do it. So let's do this so Stephen has something to do in the morning other than play with himself or his bass.
You want me to try and get a guest?
Wait, this Thursday?
Thursday, yes. Thursday always means this Thursday. If it were meant next Thursday, we would say next Thursday. When we say Thursday, it means
no. That's fair. Okay. I got some job interviews coming up, so I was just making sure I'm scheduling properly.
No, you're not. Wait, I thought the bank thing was a lock, and you were sure that thing was absolute lock.
It is, but nothing's a lock. First of all, I don't put all of my eggs in any basket, and 2, I always have multiple plans just in case one fails.
How do you carry your eggs?
Well, generally I don't carry them. I put them in a safe and secure location and only use them when necessary.
How do you get them to that safe and secure location?
Yeah. You got to carry them somewhere.
At some point, you have to carry them.
So I don't. Nope, they're delivered to me, so I avoid any responsibility of the transportation of said eggs.
Now, how do you keep your eggs separated from your sperm so they don't become?
I think Blind Mike is wrong. He's not a good guy. He's not a good guy at all. He's a bad
Who?
guy. You're a bad guy.
Oh. Now, in Galaxy, was it Guardians of the Galaxy 3? The dog that was stranded from one of the space missions gets upset because he's called a bad dog, and like he's like, "I'm not a bad dog." It's like, "You're a bad dog." It's like the worst thing. He's like so depressed because he's been called a bad dog. It's like it's the worst thing in the
Good
world to be
reference,
called.
GD.
Well,
Thank you.
I'm thinking Autumn, my stepdaughter's dog, was beaten by when she was a puppy or something. Because lately she's been acting like she's expecting to get hit.
She probably she probably knows who you are.
My dogs that my ex-wife has was doing the same thing, and we took him to the vet because we thought there was something wrong with him, and they said it could be either abuse from the previous owners as a puppy, or it could be some sort of ancestral thing that's ingrained in them.
Wow. I come from a line of beaten dogs, a long line of beaten dogs. My grandfather got beat. My great grandfather got beat. That kind of thing. And so I remember that I'm supposed to get beat. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's a vet, not a psychiatrist.
A dog psychiatrist would be trained. I mean, they don't talk much. I don't know. If
I mean, the ancestral thing. I don't think he means like he picked it up from his father in that regard, but more like border collies instinctively herd under certain circumstances. You don't even have to raise them to herd things.
She's a golden retriever. I don't think they're used to getting beaten.
Well, mine was a.
But they may have like depending on the gesture, they may have like an instinct to surrender because they're not violent. I don't know.
Well, mine was a pit bull. Mine was half pit bull, half Australian Shepherd. So.
And you just
he would hoard things and kill it.
You just got it for the Australian accent. Give me how does an Australian dog bark sound?
Oof, oof, oof.
Now, I had a friend of mine. I had a friend of mine who was in her 80s, and she said something that was really, really unobservant of her.
I know what she said.
Are you high right now?
And I did not want to. I didn't want to say anything. But I have to say something. Not to her in general. She was impressed that her cat understood French. If you raise any animal around any language, it's not just like my cat understands French. She speaks French. So of course the cat can understand French. There are cats in France. Every last one of them understands French.
So does your cat speak Ebonics?
I don't think so. I don't think so. If that were true, why would there be such a demand on Indeed for cat French translators?
Because the people don't always speak French. You have a cat that speaks French, and you have a person that doesn't.
Are you high right now?
But here's the deal. I had a dog when I was in 7th grade, and he was trilingual. Okay, because I was trilingual at the time. I did regular black talk.
I never tried lingual.
Oh, you should. It's the shortest way to a woman's heart. So my dog understood American Sign Language because I was learning it at the time. And so I was teaching my dog American Sign Language. It understood Standard English because I'm black and I spoke Standard English. And I was teaching my dog French so that I could practice my French at home because I was learning French. And so my dog could understood all three.
Could speak.
Yeah, he spoke all three.
I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm hungry. Give me some Alpo. Funny how your dog sounded a lot like Willie. But
only when he travels to New York. It's like I said, when in Rome, New York, do as the Rome, New Yorkians do.
You know what's curious?
Is there a Rome, New York? I know there's like a Rome in a lot of different states.
There's a Rome, Indiana.
And there's and there's also a Paris, Indiana.
There's a Mexico, Indiana also, and a Santa Claus, Indiana.
Rome, New York, and a Paris, Texas. Wow. Well, this is
Whoa.
a great show. I'm no geographer.
Welcome to Geography for Boomers.
I'm not a geometrist.
Our guest is already here now. So not supposed to be here at 10:15 according to my calendar. A South Georgia, and I had a typo in the description of the show that said Swinth, Georgia, and people, where's Swinth, Georgia? I don't know where. South Georgia comedian without a bio. Yet another guy without a bio, and it's going to seem like I'm just being abusive to our guest and all that stuff.
You're not.
I'm not.
You
gotta have a bio.
There are only a couple things we ask of people when they appear on the show. 1, be on time. 2, be on time. 3, give us who you are, how we can reach you, and 4, have a fucking bio.
It's not for the show; it's for yourself. You gotta have a bio, right? Anyway, Devin Moore is yet another comedian with zero business savvy, is what I have in the description here. Co-host of the Random Hour of Kyle Crump.
Thank God I'm not a comedian
more
because
sports and popcorn buckets. He does his own cringe things on here, and now amateur comedian. And he says, if I want to know about his comedy, check out his YouTube channel. That's not a bio. Anyway, he's here now. Let's say, hey, Devin Moore. How are you? No bio, Devin Moore.
Yeah, I didn't have the bio written at the time. Sorry about that. I have a bio written now, and I thought I was late. I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, no, you're early. For some reason, it says 10:15, but that's fine. Yeah, the time thing, better late than never. And listen, you don't have to say, I'm sorry to me for not having a bio. I tell people this because I think I know what bookers are looking for. I have booked, I've run clubs, I've produced shows, and I know if you want to work, nobody's going to, if you say, just go to my YouTube channel and find out about me, they're not going to do that. I want to see one paragraph that says why I gotta put Devin Moore on my stage. That's what I want.
Yeah, people are lazy. Even the industrious ones who are like successful at their business and work really hard, they're still lazy. They just want to work hard at the things they want to work hard at. They don't want to look for information. That's why they have lackeys. That's why they have PAs and assistants. They don't want to do the little stuff. They want you to do the little stuff because you're the little person looking for work.
Oh, thank you very much. So, Devin, South Georgia, specifically, you want to give us a county, a city? Where are you from?
So I'm originally from let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb real fast. Sorry.
He had to Google where he's from.
Oh.
No, okay, let me Google that. I'm
Earth.
Yeah, Earth.
Technically, it's not South Georgia. It's actually Southeast West Georgia.
Yeah. No, I'm currently working down in South Georgia because I coach and do stand-up full-time, but I'm originally from the metro Atlanta area.
Ah, now Atlanta has the hottest women out of all the cities in the United States. Is that, am I correct in that? The most beautiful women that come from Atlanta. Steven's shaking his head no. You're going to tell me I'm right, right?
It depends on where you go. It depends on where you go. The neighborhoods that I go to.
If you're talking Georgia, I'm saying Savannah personally.
Oh, fine. That's fine.
Well, Atlanta is like the southern New York.
I like that you guys don't want to let Devin talk.
Yeah. Well, we he could talk because it wasn't in his bio.
Oh
no. That's going to be my go-to every 30 seconds. I'm going to go back to that. No. I'm sorry, Devin. Go ahead and answer.
He doesn't shut up. You could just talk over him.
No, you're fine. No, that's pretty much a head on the noggin. Atlanta is like a mini or southern New York. That's actually a good example because I'm trying to think. I don't want to word this. Yeah, because like I feel like Midtown's more like Queens or whatever, Midtown Atlanta, and then you got where I grew up is more like out in the woods and park area, and we could be downtown in like 20 minutes or less.
Yeah. I've only been to be fair, I've been to Atlanta twice in my life, but every time I was there, it's like I could not I could not see a beautiful woman everywhere I looked. I was like, holy fuck, there's something in the pecans or something.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Actually, I do mean to cut you off because I have a question. When you went to Atlanta, did you fly in and were you stuck in like their global airport, which is like
one time I flew in and one
acres,
time I drove in. Yes, the one time I this is why I drove the second time. The first time, they're fucking airports down there. And I was like, it's like, what are they doing?
It's
Come
its
on.
own country.
Yeah,
it's like a mini Vatican.
Yeah,
it is.
Oh,
It's
God,
really weird,
yeah.
but I think it's just Southern women in general, Matt. Southern women in general are beautiful, but I think you're right. Women in Georgia in general, I think, are a little prettier than everywhere else.
I think it's I
Something
think that they
about
have
it.
just better PR because when your state fruit is a peach.
So
everything
back
else.
to Devin. Did you get into comedy? Because I'm just thinking you're a bad person like me, and if I were getting into comedy down there, it would be just to score the beautiful Georgia women. Did you get into comedy to impress the ladies?
Actually, no. Actually, no. My wife actually convinced me to do it.
Oh,
So
you're married.
I am. Listen. I'm surprised. I have a couple married jokes, and every time I say that, I say a married joke, and I'm like, I know somebody in the crowd's like looking at me like, dude, who the hell would fuck him?
Well, they're not the same thing. Okay. That's because you're married doesn't mean you're fucking. Okay,
Oh,
that's true.
That's because there are a lot of the longest stereotype in comedy. Well, not longer, but one of the longest stereotypes in comedy is that if you want to not have sex, get married. Okay, now it's not true. It's not true, but it must be true to some people because it gets a lot of laughter and uncomfortable laughter. Like, yeah, we stopped fucking. Or if you don't want to ever get another blowjob, get married. And
see, I can't attest to that because my ex-wife literally, we had sex the night before she threw me out. So like you can still
wife, same thing. My first wife and I had a marathon sex thing the day before I moved out.
Same. Weird, dude. High five.
So you have that to look forward to, Devin.
Like 10 and a half hours. 10 and a half hours. And
yeah, while she's putting your bags
when she starts putting out a lot, get worried.
Yeah.
Get worried.
Oh, yeah.
So let me just say, while I'm handing out career advice, being married is not good for your career. It's not good for your career. It's supposed to happen after you're already like major successful. That's the time to get married. But
yeah. And speaking of especially being married and not being good for your career, the video that I watched, I think the reason why your wife pushed you into comedy is so that she could heckle somebody and not pay any consequences.
Oh, was she heckling?
Oh my goodness.
She yells things from the audience constantly. She just at least, and now I don't know how many videos are like that. I only watched the one that he pushed.
Yeah.
And so
no, that one. So I'll give you some backtrack. So that was actually the biggest show that we promoted. We were at the historical Tipton Theater. We had it filled at 50% capacity, which is that theater can hold 620. We filled it to we sold 320 tickets. And of course, at 320 people, you're in a stage by yourself. You all know it. And all of a sudden, I just hear my wife, "That never happened." I'm just like,
that's why you train your wife before you do that. Okay,
oh no, after I got home, we had it was a long conversation, and she
a long conversation.
Yeah. Now, because you're a newbie, although at that point you've been doing comedy for a year, so you should have learned this already. You pace too much. If you're still doing it, you pace too much. I realize it was a stage and you're trying to fill it, but you spend too much of your time with the audience seeing your side and your back and not your face. And this is what sells alcohol because they see your face, they want to drink. This is how that works. So at least that's how it works with me. They see my face, they want to drink.
But let me before you answer or respond to that, let me just tell you, I've done the surveys. I'm usually outside of GD's shows doing the exit surveys, and I say, well, why are you leaving right now? And they said, did you see that fucking face? Ew. And so,
but those are places that don't serve alcohol. When you do that, the places that serve alcohol, they stay and they drink until I look attractive.
So, are you
pretty fucking drunk?
That's a lot of alcohol.
How do you
Yeah, they
respond to
drunk.
the pacing criticism? Are you an Indiana Pacer fan? First of all? No. How do you respond to that pacing criticism that GD just launched at you? That fucking missile over your border.
No, he's like 100% right. I just didn't, I didn't realize it while I was doing it on stage. And when I'm going back and rewatching it, I was like, ooh.
Yeah,
Well, it's good
that's
you
a
love it.
huge
I commend
stage.
you for watching it. I commend you for watching it because most comedians don't learn from those things. It's just that I thought you would have learned it a long time ago because my very first set that I did as a comedian, I paced. And I paced because it was a big venue and I was trying to include everybody. But I was I was walking too fast. And I was also turning, so I thought I was including everyone. And so a friend of mine who was a professional actress, when she watched it, the first thing she said to me was, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but you're pacing too much. Stop pacing.
Wow.
And that was the first thing I fixed.
Was that Reggie Miller who said that?
Yes, Reggie Miller. She is an actress. Reggie Miller.
Whoa. Devin, be happy that he's just giving you this advice. I used to pace a lot too, and then he put me in a wheelchair. So now I just fill the stage because I'm a large body. So
also, we didn't just put him in a wheelchair. We chocked his fucking wheels. We wanted to make sure that he didn't. Once he got on stage, we put those locks in, and then he could not move until we released him. That's it. And then we did the whole release the Kraken joke. Actually, release the cracker thing because it was a black white guy.
I apologize to these guys here. They're lying to you. They're lying to you because Stephen has never seen actual on stage. We usually put
he has. Stephen has been on stage. He's in a wheelchair. Unlike you, Devin.
I've been on stage.
Devin has a limp, but he's not wheelchair bound.
You want me to play the clip? Do you want me to roll the tape?
No.
We'll roll it on Thursday when Matt's not here.
Okay. Yeah, you could do everything while I'm not
Are
here.
you high right now?
I am.
So Devin, what is the source of your limp? Because you mentioned it that you have a limp. I don't remember hearing you saying how you got it, unless it's a really boring, uninteresting story that you don't know how to make interesting.
What's the white weed?
I mean, I have cerebral palsy, so that's the whole reason behind it. So it's kind of a boring answer.
You said cerebral palsy. Now, because a lot of people have conditions or diseases or whatever they are, disorders, and they initiate them. They have, they use I have CP, I have COPD, like everybody understands it. So I appreciate you saying I have cerebral palsy, not CP, because being a former colored person, I would have gotten confused.
Right.
It must be nice having a name brand disease. Because you can just whip that out, I got cerebral palsy. That's gonna be so nice, man.
So so good for you for overcoming limitations. It's a theme with comedians. A lot of comedians are perceived limitations, I should say. Rise above and do things that people would say, "Well, you got this, you can't do it," right? So good for you for doing that. Now, you want to. Is the plan to make stand-up comedy your life? You plan on doing that until you're old and gray and like me, like useless?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm constantly I literally just had a show Saturday night in Macon, Georgia. I'm on the road. If I'm not here at the house, then I'm on the road. And I've only been doing it for a year and 2 months. So
wow.
I've been down here in South Georgia. I try to go to Atlanta when I can. I'm making some connections in Jacksonville, Florida. And I'm just going where I can go.
How about Orlando? I'm thanks for reminding me by saying Jacksonville, because I have to get a agent's name and number and send it to GD. Have you checked out? Because a lot of Orlando and Fort Lauderdale is where the booking agents, a lot of comedy booking agents are stationed in those two places. Well, probably cruise ships and Disney World and all that kind of stuff. Have you pursued those destinations for performing?
Not yet. It's on the calendar. If not this year, definitely next year.
Yeah. So how do you go about finding work? Do you just go to a club, do an open mic there, talk to the man? How do you go? What's the process you use for finding new work?
Yeah. So kind of what I've learned, and this is because when I first started doing this, I started doing research, and a lot of comics were like, go to open mics, right? And that's what I would do. Go to open mics. And I mean, we've all done it. Go to open mics, have a good set, you know, network with other comedians, network with the booker, and even other comedians are like, hey, I do this show at this brewery. I can give you a paid spot. You know what I mean? Or hey, come to my open mic and meet this booker, and things of that nature. So if anybody does want to get in the comic industry, go to open mics. Those are your best friends. And one thing I have learned, not only do you need to make a good impression, but I was so hard on myself early on, and we all know, go to open mics, you write a set of jokes, you're like, oh, this will do great tonight, and it just bombs. Oh, I beat myself up one time pretty bad. I bombed at my regular open mic, and Dusty Deaton, who's a big name down here in Georgia, he's starting to get some headway in Tennessee. He's like, open mics are your best friend. He's like, if you bomb, guess what? You're okay. Come back next week, and you'll do great, because you'll learn, right? You're like, okay, that joke didn't do as good as I thought, but now you can go back
It
and
also
retool
depends on. It also depends on the nature of the mic, because if it's mostly comedians, you may not have bombed. A lot of times,
Right.
comedians just don't laugh at other comedians. You have to know in your heart what's funny. I mean, you have to be able to trust your gut.
And
So,
I think I have a strategy for if you bomb at a open mic night.
Go ahead, I'm all ears.
If you're at an open mic night and you bomb, basically people don't know your name. So when you finish, you could say, "Well, thanks for being here. I'm GD Fenderson," and then leave. And then they're gonna think, "Well, GD Fenderson bombed like hell that night," and then that's all they
Can you
remember.
not give everyone my strategy away? I always tell people I'm GD when I bomb. That's why I've never bombed on stage. GD has.
So keep
I've
that in the
never
back of your
bombed on
mind.
stage.
If things aren't going well, and you want to, when you leave, just remember to say you GD Fenderson, and then everybody, oh, that's why he bombed.
and they'll probably say, "You've gotten better, GD, because the last time you bombed, you were an Asian guy."
Yeah.
Last time you bombed, you were a white guy in a wheelchair. Weird.
Yeah, at least you're walking now. You've gotten better. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
So making Georgia. So when you say on the road, how far have you been out to LA? Have you been to New York? Have you been to Boston? Any of these Chicago? Any of these comedy towns?
No, not yet. Like the farthest I've gone is probably Atlanta to not Jacksonville, Tampa right now.
Tampa's another one where there's probably high density of booking agents and stuff like that. That's the biggest part of anything in show business is the business shit, and nobody really wants to do the business shit. So they want to do the show part, not the business part. And so that's why I think finding an agent, a manager, or whatever is crucial. I would not. When I was young, I used to handle it all myself, and it just got exhausting. It saps all your creative energy, all your energy completely. It's
And
better
the
to
older
have
you get and the responsibility that you have in your regular life, the less you feel like dealing with that shit.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You're in. Have you done any shows with John Locken from Road Comics of America? He's in the South Georgia area.
I have not yet.
For some reason, he puts on big shows with people who are not necessarily household names yet. But yeah, I don't. It's an impressive thing to see somebody putting together these big shows. 320 tickets was a lot for one person to sell. Were you you weren't the only act on that bill, were you?
No, there was 5 of us on that bill that night. So I, like you said, the business side of it, I was going a lot. I was helping the promoter. Like we all were helping the promoter because we knew that we could sell tickets as a group of 5 comedians. And heck, I even had a connection. I went on the local news and promoted for like 10 minutes.
Wow. You know what? That's a big thing that most people don't do. Like they just expect the club expects the comedians to do it. The comedians expect the club to do it, and then nobody does it. And then they say, "Well, why aren't there any people out here?" I don't know.
My biggest pet peeve when I was producing shows, and actually, I never expected to be a famous comedian, but I did expect to be able to produce shows, which is why my website was So GD Funny and not GD Fenderson. That was the brand. The plan was to start producing shows, and I rent theaters, book theaters, and have comics, and they would not even be promoting their own shows, and I'd be like so fucking pissed at them. It's like I said, look, promote. I see you promoting. You're going to be here or there, but you're not promoting this. And this is a theater. You're promoting like little clubs that have built-in fans. I'm trying to get people to see you. And one of the guys even got his first college job through me at one of my shows, and he didn't perform. I mean, he didn't advertise at all. And the person actually wanted to talk to me, and I was so busy dealing with the business stuff. And I didn't want to leave them hanging. So I said, I'll be right with you in like 10 minutes. And I called over one of the comedians who's funny. Otherwise I wouldn't have booked him. Yeah. And I said, got them to talking. And he got the gig because I got them talking while I was busy trying to take care of the money stuff and all the other crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Any infighting or like jealous? Because if you're on a bill with five other acts and 3 of them were working hard to promote it, and then the 2 were just slacking, would that necessarily? Have you seen it where it causes a whole bunch of like animosity? These fucks shouldn't even be on the show. They didn't lift a finger here. The crowd is all because of the other 3 people that were working their ass off to promote it, and now these 2 slackers are sitting in and enjoying the meal. Any of that go on?
No, but the promoter of that show knew that I helped him with the news thing, so he gave me a longer set and things like that. I mean, we all did our part. Nobody was really slacking. Like. The good thing about that show is we've all worked together in the past before, so it's not like we were all total strangers. Like you said, there was no animosity. It's not like some random guy pulled up and we're like, did this guy even? This guy? Oh.
Chalk your wheels before you try to move, Steven. Chalk your wheels.
I told you not to push the ejector seat button until the end of the show.
I know it was a bad option to add on.
What the fuck just happened, brother? I'm sorry. I apologize for people who saw a very disturbing terrorist attack on himself. Steven.
The camera, the thing my camera is on fell backwards.
The trap door. Okay. There's a trap door underneath him.
John Beavers pushed you out your chair when you weren't looking.
Yeah, he found me.
Here's a question.
I'm glad you're okay. I thought he just like was shocked. I was like,
he's like Bumbles bounce.
Yeah. Somebody has been watching. What is that? The Christmas thing. What?
Hey, speaking of that, my wound is almost gone. I'm gonna have a weird scar now.
You don't even know where it is. My forehead. My forehead is up here somewhere.
Steven, watch
Actually,
this.
my forehead goes all the way back here.
I don't even have to. I know where it is. See,
my camera's mirrored, so everything's backwards.
That's just it. You should know where it is, though. You should know where you're injured. You should know where your
right here
is.
So, right here. Devin, that show that GD was referencing with the pacing, that was a big theater, right? And the production. Obviously, some video production there. Are you responsible for that? Or that's the promoter doing that? Who was doing the video?
Sadly, we all had to do video on our own. I was trying to get a video production people. I was trying to get some local people, but they fell through. And that's when I was like, dang. So we all had to do our own thing. That was like the only crappy part. And I had to get.
I'm gonna make a suggestion for you if and when it happens again.
Hold on, let me write this down.
Whoever is, if you don't have someone to man your camera, if you have to set it up yourself. Get somebody who approximately your height or whatever, have them stand in the center and box it. Zoom in as best you can and then know what your limits are so that you can walk and stay in frame, but you're not this big in your video. Okay.
Another option.
Probably the best suggestion GD has ever offered on this program. I'm sorry.
There is one more option that I've seen. I've actually saw it this last Wednesday. A couple comics brought out it's an AI tripod that holds your phone, and it tracks you, right? So they just set it on the table in front of the stage, and it was able to, track them as they move. Because a couple of them were pretty animated people on stage.
There's a couple of options with that. It's called Miro, and there's a bunch of those where you wear a little transmitter in your pocket, or hold it in your pocket, and it follows you and tracks your movement.
They have some AI ones
I
that'll
was
just do the
saying,
face by
but that's why I
recognition.
said he has no one. If he if he has to have a one camera setup that's mobile. That's why I prefaced it that way, because there are lots of things, but not everybody's going to have that device.
Right.
Yeah.
But you have a camera and a tripod, and a stage. Have somebody stand there, or if you don't, and if you can't, take the mic stand. Even if you don't use a mic stand, I don't use a mic stand. Put the mic stand there, box it, and know what your surroundings are. So even if you do pace, you're not pacing outside of the camera.
Yeah.
But you get something usable. Not so that you're maybe knees up or a full shot, but not all stage. And the people's heads were like this, and you were like this. And I'm sure in the video you wanted people to see you.
You look pretty small on that stage. I have to, because I was like, is this guy like, is this Ed Gale? I'm sorry. You don't.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I told him, I was like, you guys have got to zoom in on me now, as obviously, thank God for video editing software. So now when I'm starting to cut up the clips, I'm able to zoom in on myself, right? The power
If you
of
have
editing.
good quality, if you have good quality cameras, then you can do that. And also good lighting, because sometimes you can have a good camera, bad lighting, and you zoom in and you just get bleached out.
Oh my goodness.
Indeed.
Yeah, speaking of bad lighting, I had done a set, and before the show, we were at a bar in Perry, Georgia, and I came in. It was I was the opener, right? I was the opener, and I was like, cool, because I personally like being the opener. I don't know about you guys, because I'm one of those people who are like, I like to start the show off first. I don't know. That's just a me thing, because the more I sit, I'm just like, I don't know. I get anxious. But anyways, I was opening, and then all of a sudden the bar owner turns on like these really bright lights. And I didn't think nothing of it. And then later that night, when I go back to look at my video feed, you don't even see me. You just see a giant like yellow light.
Yeah.
You just hear my voice. And I'm like, well, this is useless.
Yeah,
or
not necessarily. You got the audio, you can listen to it and learn from it, and so it's not a complete waste, but yeah, it's not going to be publishable. Do you because just last week we had somebody who is shy about putting her stuff online. She doesn't want to burn her material, and I'm of the opinion that nobody gives a fuck if they've heard your joke online or your story online.
Mm-hmm.
They're there to enjoy the night, and they're still going to enjoy it anyway. So the few people who've heard it online, it's not like you're burning a special that was meant for Netflix.
Yeah.
So do you put all your stuff online?
I do. I was kind of like that at first, because I was like, man, I guess the term is like gatekeeping, because I was like that. I was shy and gatekeeping. And now, because with the algorithms with Instagram, YouTube, and things like that, I'm just like, I need an audience. So I'm just like, okay, they might hear this joke 1,000 times online. I might word it a little differently or just do different hashtags, right? Because again, hashtags are our best friends on Instagram. I might post one joke and do these hashtags, and it doesn't do so well. And then I might wait a week or two, re-upload it, or, I might be at a different venue and I'll reuse that joke and I'll try different hashtags. And then it blows up that following week. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But you kind of hit the head on the coffin. It's not a Netflix special. I rather people come back and enjoy the same joke. And I've done a local venue where people are glad to see me, and I've redone the same jokes, and they come back and they're like, hey, we've heard this joke the second time. We loved it as much as the first time. So I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. As a musician, we've never ever had to deal with burning that material. It's a song. We're going to keep doing the same songs for the rest of our lives. It's not, people come to hear the hits. But one problem I do have is people in the audience live streaming it or taping it and then putting their shitty audio from their phone online. This is a representation of my work now, and it's just like really bad audio and terrible camera work and all that stuff. Do you guys deal with that? Or because I went to a comedy show once where a guy actually from the stage told people, my agent doesn't allow that. I don't know really, but I have an agreement, a contract that we don't allow people taping from the audience. Is that an issue for you guys?
I haven't come across that issue yet. The only thing I've had a problem with and it just kind of weirded me out. Like, it's a sweet gesture, but it's just where people will tag me on Facebook and stuff of me being on stage, and I'm like, it weirded me out at first, but I realized people are just being nice, and I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
I personally love getting the photos and videos from people that I'm not expecting, because I feel like those photos and those videos tend to look a little better because you're not playing it up for the camera. You're just being natural.
So you haven't had one where it was really embarrassing, like somebody posted something of you in the worst moment of your act, and like,
I posted the worst moment of my act when I first my first set when I first did comedy. That was me, but also I did it because there were other people in my class. It was a graduation ceremony kind of. We did the comedy boot camp, and then we did the show for, like I said, roughly 200 some odd people, and we opened for a real headline, a real professional comedian, and a lot of the guys in my class were never going to go on to be anything. Matter of fact, I didn't even think I was going to be anything, and so far I'm right. But I recorded it to encourage them, which is also why I kept posting videos to encourage the other comedians, so we could keep track of our progress if we progressed. Yeah, because most of them dropped out. Almost all the guys that I was with dropped out. I may be the only person left in my class who's still going strong, or at least still going. Strong is relative.
Steven has a good moment during his sets. That's really funny. John, I don't know. John, that's John Beaver, Slaptail Nation. John, I don't know if you even know that you're in a war right now. You're in a war zone. You're defending your country, your Slaptail Nation from Blind Mike, because you called Blind Mike a pussy, and he's under the impression that you called him a pussy for not being here, and then you ran away. Now, I tried to explain this morning that you were being considerate of us and leaving the room to make room for Blind Mike, but he took it as you called him a pussy and ran away. And I'm just trying to make a peace call here, because I'm Donald Trump. I want to end this war before I even get in office. So if we could,
I'm a Slaptail Nation Lives Matters. So
yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry to take time away from Devin when we to bring up the war thing.
No, you guys are
we've given him an extra 45 minutes.
I just want to make an observation. Steven just made a gesture toward John that was so selfless, probably the most selfless gesture that Steven has ever made. And within the next 45 seconds, I'm pretty sure John is going to thank him by saying, "You fucking Amish potato head."
I
know.
Are you high right now?
I am, because I must have missed the gesture. What was the gesture?
He goes, "Slaptail Lives Matter." Slaptail Nation Lives Matter.
Oh, okay. That's a gesture, I guess.
Yes, he's saying, "I'm an ally." He's like,
you don't know that. Well,
I'm an ally, yeah.
My sarcasm meter is off, so I don't know if he was being, because you know how these Amish are.
Whoa, disrespectful! I'm not an Amish. I showered this morning.
So yeah.
So tell us about the podcast you were doing. I forgot. Was it Cream and the Crop or some shit? Now I forgot. Now
it's the Random Hour by Kyle.
Random Hour.
Yeah, I can go into depth with those. So me and I did that. We started that thing back in 2019. It's with a good buddy of mine. We met in college, and the flagship of our show is his show, The Random Hours, because the past year and a half, we've been interviewing people all over the country. We've done some international people and things like that. So we've been interviewing people. In fact, when I get done with you guys today, I've got to email a comedian from Alabama who just released a comedy special. So I'm going to hook that up and do
Dusty
that.
Slay?
No, it's Ben. I gotta look. He just released. He's an Alabama comic.
The only one Alabama comic I know is Dusty Slay. That's why I said that. I don't know Alabama. I should have more people famous from Alabama, right? No, but I don't know.
Is Big Rich Brock, Alabama?
Yeah, I think Big Rich is. Yeah, Big Rich is from Alabama. Ben Compton, that's who it is. That's what got us set up.
I actually know that name. Probably from John's group.
Big Rich Brock, you know from here. You interviewed him.
Yeah.
That's the minister. That's the guy that used to be a pastor
I
for
know
20 years.
Big Rich.
Okay.
I didn't know he was from Florida, from Alabama. I thought he was from Florida for some reason.
I grew up in Alabama.
I just knew that he was in the same area as Dusty Slay because
Steven, you're not famous yet, Stephen. I know what
That's
you're
true.
trying to do here, but
That's
no.
true. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's our pop culture show. We've interviewed people from Australia, England, voice actors. One famous voice actor was Jason Anthony. He's done stuff for Call of Duty, Hogwarts Legacy, a bunch of Star Wars projects. And one of our most interesting episodes in our algorithm is we found somebody that's a Wiccan by the username A Girl Named Tom, and that was interesting.
more sports.
So yeah, that's mine, and I'll go into about that one. So actually, back in the day, I did a sports show for our radio station in college, and it was more like ESPN style. And in 2019, podcasts started to take off. I was like, well, I'll bring it back. And then just doing stand up now, and my good buddy Kyle does it with me. I'm like, what is something dumb in the sports world that we can do? I was like, let's just think of something stupid. Because it's
if this is stupid, so you're on the right track. You came to the right place. If you're looking for advice on stupid, I have a whole chain of stupid. MindDogTV.com/stupid.
Yeah,
we got the market cornered on stupid, man. I swear to God.
I had a friend of mine who did a sports show, and I'm going to just say his because I don't think he does it anymore, or we're not friends anymore. One of the two. But let's say his name is Jason, and his sports thing was called Jason Plays with Balls, and then the logo would be him, and it'd be like football, basketball, baseball, hockey.
Hockey's not a ball.
Well, if you look at the puck just right, it looks like it's a ball. And you gotta have balls to play hockey because they lose their teeth.
All right. Favorite sport, Devin? Football? I'm guessing you're a football guy, right?
I am. I'm football and a soccer guy. I'm working my
soccer.
Big Atlanta United fan.
I thought you were American. Soccer. Well, you did say soccer, not football. Football or what? So, wow. It's just how old I am. It's just like nobody my age even knows soccer.
I too enjoy some soccer occasionally, along with American football.
It's a generational thing.
Yeah, the funny thing is, when it comes to the names of players, I don't know much about hockey or soccer, so I get like Messi and Messier mixed up. I don't know who's who. You know, it's like I just don't know who's. You show me the pictures, and I don't know which one's Messi, which one's Messier. You know. So
how about baseball? Are you a Braves fan at all, or no?
I am. I love. See, the crazy thing is, I have the hardest time watching baseball on television. But if I go to SunTrust Field, I'll be there all day. Like I love.
Is it because of the beer and hot dogs? The great cuisine, the great ballpark cuisine. Is that what it is?
It sure is. You caught me.
Well,
okay.
He says that.
I'm just saying. You look like you. I'm just saying. It looks like you had a few meals under your jersey.
Yeah, no.
He's saying you're fat. He's saying he knows Stephen Ortiz.
What a fucking asshole, GD. My God. What do you expect the guy to do? He has cerebral palsy. He can't go do aerobics. He can't fucking go out and run a mile. Jesus Christ. Get the guy some fucking.
I only mentioned the things that he himself joked about in his set. Oh. If he did not joke about his appearance in set, I would not have done it. See,
I do the same thing, Devin. It's
that's why I knew exactly what he was doing. Oh no, that Tifton set, I make fun of myself a lot. And the opener, my opener for that set, that actually happened to me. I was doing an open mic, and the host knew me real well, and he asked me beforehand. He's like, "Devin, can I throw a jab at you?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, go ahead. I don't care." Because again, right, it's all about making people's day.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what he was going to say, but I was like, yeah, dude, go. You can throw a jab at me. I'm not going to be butthurt, right? And he just goes, it's springtime. Birds are fucking. Bees are fucking. This next comic's definitely not fucking. Give it up for Devin Moore. And everybody's like, ha! And I'm like, okay.
I think he's got it wrong anyway. I think the fucking time is winter, and then having babies from the fucking happening.
I agree.
Yeah.
See, Devin, that's like when I go on stage, I like to start it off with something like, I know y'all came for stand up and I'm sorry, because I like to take the easy jabs from the comics that come up after me, you know, because they're obviously going to fall back on it at some point. They always do. At least one of them does. So it's always kind of fun to take their air out of their sails a little bit, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of being wrong.
Go ahead.
GD is wrong. GD's wrong. Okay, you can continue. What is GD wrong about, you might ask? He's talking about ballpark cuisine.
Yeah, I'm not wrong about ballpark cuisine.
You are totally wrong. Believe me, I'm going to give you the exact truth about how baseball has evolved. You used to be right about ballpark cuisine. It used to be a hot dog and a beer. Now, if you go, it is a catered, a 5-star restaurant, nonstop buffet, and it's all about eating.
There are good restaurants and name brand restaurants that have like little portals or kiosks in the stadiums.
When you go to like a Met game, you're there for the food. The fucking game doesn't even matter. You're going, and it's not just a restaurant or here. It's like catered, and it's all free. And you just go online. I'm going to try the biscuit. I'm going to try the steak. And it's like, Mikey took me to a game a couple of years ago, and I was like, I can't eat anymore. And he was just like, keeping going, because he's bigger. He's 3 Stevens. Keep going more. And it's just like.
Yeah, you said this was free food?
It's all free.
But here's.
Because it's sponsored, it's a VIP stuff sponsored by.
Then that's a different experience than the average.
Plus, not only that, when you're in New York, you're not there to watch your teams win. You're going to watch them all lose. Whether you're the Knicks, whether you're the Mets, it doesn't matter who you are. You're there to watch them lose and eat, right?
Honestly, I don't know how the game turned out. I don't even know how the game turned out. They might have won.
Yeah, no, I can tell you.
I was not wrong. You just had a different experience. The average individual goes there and also when they go there for the ballpark cuisine, it is usually the hot dogs and the beer.
$8 hot dogs
that is the food that travels best up and down the aisles and across the seats.
Not even anymore. I mean, you see them with those like hoagies. There's all this stuff that never used to be part of the ballpark thing. It's just like all this. It's like
if you go to a minor league baseball field, you get very much the old school cuisine. You get the hot dogs, the nachos, the burgers, the beer, the pop. The cracker guys.
If we may, now Stephen just was talking about how everybody, New York teams lose. How the Braves do it this year? I haven't been following it to know that the Mets are in first place and the Braves are not. How they do it?
No comment. No comment. No comment. No comment. No, it's
Oof,
it's rough.
Okay, since you're a Braves fan. Okay, I was watching a video of Greg Maddux. Okay, I mean, do y'all have like a statue of Greg Maddux somewhere down there? You have to, right? The guy was like a beast.
I haven't seen it, but doesn't mean that it's not there.
He deserves a statue. I mean, but I did not know that he didn't his catcher did not make the calls. He made his own calls based on footage that he studied of the batters. He would study the batters and he would decide what to throw, not the catchers. The only thing he did was he would signal to the catcher where to put the glove.
Mm-hmm.
And the catcher would put the glove there and just wait for the ball.
Yeah.
That's it. So I just didn't know if you were like,
kind of like Liberace.
Yes, exactly. Liberace just says, I'll tell you where the balls are going to wind up. You just be there to catch them. Yeah. Do you know who Liberace is, Devin? Because Matt
I do not.
Okay.
Maddux was he's kind of a controversial figure because the deal on him is the people who hate him is that there was a special strike zone, the Greg Maddux strike zone that nobody else had the liberty of having, wider and higher and lower. He got called more strikes that were not strikes for anybody else. I don't know how he got away with that.
Probably because if you're good enough people, especially like referees and people, they start assuming that if he threw it, it must be a strike.
Right.
It's kind of like Michael Jordan not walking. Okay, there was one video. I'm sorry, Scottie Pippen. I'm thinking of Scottie Pippen now. Scottie Pippen literally took 6 steps in this one scene, and they did not call him for walking because he was Scottie Pippen.
Right.
If I had taken 2.5 steps, not only would they have called me for it, they would have probably given me, that was your 6th penalty. It's like I just got in the game. I've been playing for 4 seconds.
And because you're a dwarf, it would have taken 30 of your steps to equal 2 of Scottie Pippen's steps. So.
Oh, that's true. So I'd have had to take 12 steps to get this to cover the same distance.
Right. I thought 30, but maybe I was being a little judgmental.
Kevin, I should have mentioned that I have a disability. I am a tall dwarf. I'm about 5'8".
So
I'm a dwarf, but I'm a dwarf, but I have this condition that made me grow taller than the rest of my dwarf brothers and sisters.
Big dwarf. Just an awfully big dwarf is the name of your next album.
Just a really big midget.
Yeah.
Devin, how often are you working? Are you hustling? Are you out there? Every week?
I try to do every week. I just I'm gonna take this week off because I've done like 4 shows back to back, and sometimes I'll take like a week off just because you've all done it, that feeling burnout from being on the road, especially by yourself. And I'm just like, whew, I just need a week. And I constantly write. And sometimes when I do stretches like this, when I try to write new stuff, nothing makes sense to me. So I'm just like, okay, don't worry about writing new stuff. Let's book these shows and just sit back and let's write. And let's take a week off from doing a show and just write.
Well, even if you don't write, at least make note of it, because it may be useful later.
Yeah.
That's what I usually do. And I just made an appearance on the Sit Down and Stand Up show with John. He's based out in New York too. Oh gosh, I'm butchering his last name. John Malecki. I might be butchering it.
Booth?
Hold up. I'm sorry. I'm bad with names. I gotta look. But he gave.
I'm glad you got that reference, Stephen.
I'm just making a note for a joke idea, a little joke idea that I want to make a note for. I'll follow up later.
Because I don't want Blind Mike and them to like get me like he told another one of those old joke references and nobody got it. Thank you for getting it, Stephen.
Welcome. Oh, John Malenkin. John Malenkin. That's who it is. Yeah, would sit down and stand up, or stand up and sit down.
Are you high right now?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, me too. A little bit. Now, do you write? So, are you a sober guy, or do you get high? You drink? What do? You do nothing. You're.
Oh no, I got to do the pre-drink show. I got to do at least one.
Wow.
I got to do at least one.
Wow. Ever do a show like incapacitated, like too far, you've been too high, too drunk, too?
No, I can't do it. I saw some of my good friends that are comics that tried it, and they just, and I was like, noted, because they're like, oh, that set was so good, and I'm sitting there, I'm like,
yeah. It always surprises me. Coke is the one that really drives me crazy with comedians because they think they're funny. They're talking really fast, but you can't really be funny when you're on a speed. You can't. I mean, you can be funny to yourself, but the audience is just one.
You know what? The couple times that I've performed under the influence of cocaine, while I didn't bomb per se, it was rough because my brain was going faster than my mouth could go, and I would like start fumbling over words, or I'd forget where I was going because I'd be going too fast. It scarred me from ever doing anything besides like pot before going on stage again because it was scary. I didn't like it. And it made 15 minutes feel like 2 minutes.
For some reason, a lot of comedians like to get do a little blast before they go on. It's like, nah, man, that's not going to work. The audience can tell. I think you can tell more so. Well, you can tell when a guy's drunk, but I think you can tell pretty easily when the guy's coked up.
Also, I don't like it when the comedians preface their set by saying, "I am so high, I am so drunk, I am so buzzed." It's like, just put on the show. You know,
if they're not, though, that could be pretty funny.
Oh man, no! I'll tell a story.
Joseph.
I was at the Laughing Skull in Atlanta, getting ready for the Tipton show. That set that I sent you guys. So I went up to one of their open mics just to prepare, and I performed or whatever. And one guy was in the green room just pouring shots of liquor, and he came on stage just wobbling. And he goes, "Hey guys, I'm effed up right now," and he started laughing at himself. And he's got his glass like this, just laughing and sipping. And he's like, "All right, first joke." Because at their open mics, they give you like 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes, 6 if you know the guy. But that guy was laughing at himself. He was wobbly, and it's a small room. It holds about 70 people. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna fall. Oh, I hope he doesn't fall. But he didn't. He finished the set.
Wow.
I have no tolerance for people who, what's in my mind, showing up to work incapacitated.
Yeah.
If you appreciate the craft, you don't show up incapacitated. You show up ready to work.
I had a bass player fall down on his face, wearing the bass, plugged in loud, amplified, and he fell forward. He was so drunk, he fell forward, flat down like that. Boom.
The worst experience I've had with somebody who was fucked up on stage was I went all the way to Kansas City, Missouri from Northern Indiana. Right? Spent the night in the airport for this goddamn show. And I show up to the airport, 2-hour drive to the gig. We get there. The headliner, who's also the booker, is already smashed, right? He's super fucked up. We get there, and the chick goes up. He forgets her name. She goes up, does 10 of her 15 minutes. He kicks her off stage. I go up on stage. He kicks me off 10 minutes in, and then goes up there and says the same 3 jokes for 45 minutes until somebody takes the mic from him and tells him to get off the stage so they can do the raffle so everyone can go home. It was the worst experience I've ever had.
Yeah.
Wait, so he's done 45 minutes of the same 3 jokes?
To the point, literally, because he was so fucking trash that he would forget pieces of the joke and redo it and include the pieces of the joke that he forgot the last time, but it was never getting it all out the first time through. It was horrible, man. It was just drunken ramblings until they literally took the mic out of his hand. I'm surprised we even got paid. We both didn't even stay till the end. Once we got our money in hand, myself and the opener, we left and we went back to the airport and we stayed there. Like we didn't even hang out to talk to the guy again.
I ties with a show producer. He was the one that used to bring me to New York. And I was doing a New Year's Eve show, and I was the feature. I came on at midnight. After midnight, I came on, and then the headliner came on after me. So it was like the New Year's Eve show, New Year's Eve show. And the host, the producer, was so drunk that he was at the table right next to me, right next to the stage, trying to pick up these 3 women, all 3 women, not just one. He was just trying to pick up all 3 of them. And he was so loud that my mic was picking him up. And you could hear the women like rebuffing him, but he would not be rebuffed. He was like, if he was as sober as he was persistent, he'd have been really good. And the thing is, the guy had talent. He did really good impersonations of like prominent Black actors and stuff. Really good person. And his material was lacking, but his impersonations were so on point that even though the material was lacking, people were like, I can see Denzel saying that, or Samuel, but I cut ties with him, which is the main reason why I never did another New York show until like a few months ago. Because the guy that used to drag me to New York, he was like, "You my guy, I love you, man." He was just so unprofessional. And that's the only time I ever lost my temper on stage. I got so angry, I just looked around and said, "Will you just shut the fuck up?"
Damn.
It was like, oh shit. Because most of the ones that know me have never seen me like that.
Yeah.
God, that's like that's the one thing I learned, that you try to keep your cool. Yeah. And I did a show at Side Splitters in Wesley Chapel, and it was one of their local guys. And like I said, I learned to keep my composure. But the guy, within like 2 minutes of his set, he told somebody in the crowd, because that, if you guys haven't been there, I kind of like their spot. They're in the Wesley Chapel ones in a theater in the mall, in a movie theater. They converted a movie theater into a stage. It's pretty cool setup. I liked it. I was like, this is pretty neat. So they have tables. They took some rows away and they converted like tables and stuff. Waitresses will come get you food, and everybody else can sit in the movie theater seats in the back. And within 2 minutes of this one guy said, it's one of their local guys, and he just yelled, "Man, can y'all just shut the fuck up? Y'all, this shit's fucking funny." And that whole table just got up and left. And then everybody else was like, "Yeah, let's leave." And I was closing it, and I barely had anybody there for my set. And I had like a good 8-minute set. And I was like, and I just facepalmed, and I called my wife. I was like, "Dude, I'm not coming back here ever again."
Now, how often do you call your wife dude?
Huh?
I don't call my wife and I have been together for a little over 20 years, and I've never called her dude. But you said you called your wife and said dude. I'm never coming back here. So is that like a pet name for your wife, dude? And
no,
when that come about?
No, she knows if I say that, she knows I'm mad, and she'll be like, she was like, "Oh, was it a bad set?" And then I told her that. She's like, "Oh."
So you really do say dude to your wife?
Yeah, it's
lots of people do that. It's a generational thing. The old man wouldn't know that because
it's a generational thing for sure. Because I've said
it's
dude.
Not generational. I just happen to know what a dude is. Okay, it's not generational.
No, again, like you think a dude is a guy who went to the ball game for a hot dog and a beer, and no.
I think a dude is a guy. See, you sit right there, a guy. Period.
It used to be. It used to be in the world you came from.
Those are the ones they call trans,
old man.
Okay?
Get with
the
picture, old man.
Trans. That's it.
Yeah, listen. When you're not using your 1860s fucking encyclopedia definition of dude,
you're stuck
okay,
on
it's just
the 60s, man. Bozo's the thing of the past, man. Get with the present, dude.
Yeah, I've used dude towards my significant other my whole life. Like, it's always been a thing.
It must be a white thing, because I don't know any black people that call their wives or girlfriends.
No, because I know black guys.
Call them wifey, which is annoying to.
I know black guys that call their wives and their girlfriends bruh. I hear that a lot too.
Yeah,
the thing is, black guys never use
very black guys have been kicked out of the club. They don't even have. Check them. I bet you they don't even have their card anymore. We have removed their. See this? I want to show you something. This
we
box.
Don't want to see something.
Yeah, this box here is filled with all the cards that we've taken from black people who no longer are card-carrying black people. Okay, I am the one who keeps those cards. Now you know.
First of all, we all know that those are fucking collars for the Rev. Don't fucking mess with our heads here. But second of all, no black guys have ever used the word dude like on a regular basis. This is not a black thing. It's kind of like a redneck thing, or a northerner who want to sound like a redneck, or like a fan of country or southern rock. Yeah.
No, what dude was never. I've never heard dude as a southern thing either. I've always heard dude as just a regular guy thing. Like, because down south you got like.
It came from the South. It was because you're young, you don't know this, but yes, it was a dude ranch thing. The dude ranch. It was dudes who work on cattle ranches. Dudes. That's where it came from.
I was about to say,
who found with bulls.
Right.
I was about to agree. I've heard dude all my life.
Right. And you're from Georgia. That's why you've heard. You know, in New York, you will only get it in the more rural areas. You won't hear it in Manhattan. You're not going to hear a whole lot of dude getting thrown around.
Yeah.
Duty, maybe.
That's just New York. The smell and the piss.
Right. There was that one guy. He was like they took 15 cops to arrest this guy. But then when they got him arrested, you bastard I'm telling a story about a guy.
That was per request of Ron Kane.
I know, but you can stop it when I say please stop it, because I wanted to talk about a guy who took like 15 cops to arrest him, Larry something. But then when they got him in the cell at Rikers, his thing was to throw shit in his hand and throw it at the guards. And they were like, we got to let this guy go.
Now and this is what I learned this. I learned this the hard way. If you do not want to get arrested by police officers and you're a guy, if you're a guy and you're trying to avoid arrest, strip down naked. None of them want to touch you. They just they don't.
And shit in your hand and throw it at him. They'll be like, I wish he had a gun. Let's give him a gun.
Especially if it's bloody. If it's a bloody sample, yeah.
Yeah.
Noted.
If I get pulled over, strip naked, they won't want to arrest you. They'll like try to talk you down. And it doesn't even matter your race. They don't want to touch you. Now, they may be quicker to shoot you if you're black, but they won't arrest you.
Right.
You're naked.
So, Devin, you got shows this week?
Say that again, I'm sorry?
Shows this week? You got some shows coming up this week?
No, not this week. I've got to fill up my calendar for June. I do have a big show in Marietta. Lord, words are hard. I do have a big show July 1st in Marietta, Georgia at the Alley Stage. July 1st, show starts at 7. I've got a chance to get in there. That's a well-known they call themselves a comedy club, but it's really just a venue. They do a good bit of music, comedy. I saw Shakespeare last month, so I was like, But it's starting to become one of the well-known hotbeds of comedy in the Atlanta area. So I'm excited for that. And then I just booked this as well last weekend, July 15th. I'll be in Athens, Georgia at the Flicker Theater.
Oh, Athens used to be a music mecca. Is it still like a music mecca? Before Austin was the place to go for independent music, Athens, Georgia was. I don't know. I don't know it's about Athens.
So the last time I went to Athens was about 2 years ago. Well, 2 years ago, and there were so many like well-known indie artists there, and all genres: rock, bluegrass, country, like you name it. It was there. We were bar hopping, and I was like, "This is cool."
Yeah,
and I like Athens because of that.
Yeah. And Atlanta, I don't know if you know this about Atlanta. Obviously, Devin probably knows this, but a lot of people might not know this. Atlanta is a thriving television and movie production hub where it, not necessarily on a scale with Hollywood, but I think a lot of Hollywood productions have moved to maybe because of cost or whatever, but a lot of things going on there. So.
It's funny. Yes, that's true. It's funny when the first Avenger film was being filmed, they did the opening scene where Loki comes out of the portal. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Have you guys seen the first Avenger movie?
Oh yeah. About 3 or 4 times now.
Okay, well that open sequence, they filmed that in a power plant where my dad was working. And so they had to do like the whole thing. My dad thought it was like the coolest thing. They set up wires and sound stages. Like they let him be there. He says it was the coolest thing.
Now, this is just for the nerds out there, because Devin, you have just pissed off a bunch of nerds. When you said the first Avenger movie, Captain America is the first Avenger. So when you say the first Avenger movie,
no, he didn't piss off anybody.
He did. I'm telling you now, I'm seeing all the hate mail right now in the chat room, and they're like going crazy over the fact that he said first Avenger and then Loki. Okay, first Avenger is Captain America. They even
the first Avengers movie, Avengers plural, multiple Avengers.
Well, he's right. My fault. Captain America was the first Avenger. He's correct. There's so many now. I just wanted to be specific.
I'm just saying. So they accept your apology, and all 400,722 and a half of them have accepted your apology. I got it right here. Yeah.
This reminds me of the other day. There were on some Facebook feed. There was something about sounds from space, what these different stars, the sound waves, and the nerd fights in the comments for that, or people all think they're smarter than Einstein or whatever. It's just a thing to behold, people fighting over this, arguing over can stars actually make could there be sound in a vacuum, whatever. It's just like, oh my God, please give it a break here, nerds. That's what I feel like you guys with your Avengers stuff.
Watching two physicists talking, and they were saying the difference between a physicist and a regular person is like if you ask a physicist a question, they will like say, "Let me figure this out," and they'll sit down and figure it out. But the average person will go like, "Let me Google that." And so I'm sitting there watching them discuss things, and they were like way, way, way over my head. And I'm still thinking that doesn't sound right. Let me Google. And I was afraid to Google it because they'd already started off by saying the less informed people Google it, while those who know just break out the pen and paper and start working on that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
all right, Devin, we're going to let you go, but I got the YouTube link. And how often are you publishing there? Like, are you doing stuff like on a daily, weekly basis? What are you doing?
Yeah, so I'll say this for a lot of people. I mean, you guys probably noticed this. YouTube Shorts has been like my best friend pushing jokes out there. So for anybody that wants to get into the stand-up game, social media is going to be your friend. YouTube Shorts is going to be your best friend. TikTok is also going to be your best friend. Just the algorithm. I've interviewed so many content creators of different spaces. The algorithm is going to drive you crazy. Just find your niche and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
And
stay in your niche, because the thing, and my biggest problem, I say this as a guy who's made like tons of mistakes with YouTube and all this stuff. My YouTube channel is like 400 years old. Before
before there was internet, it was Matt and his YouTube
Isaac
channel.
Newton discovered gravity, I had a YouTube channel. But I have so many different things there. I have movie stuff, I have music, I have comedy, I have politics. Nobody knows what my channel is about, and the algorithm punishes you for that. So stay to the stand-up stuff if that's what you're going to do.
As a matter of fact, Matt YouTube channel was with real tubes and not transistors and solid state and stuff like that. It was actually with tube.
There was no electromagnetism had yet to be discovered, and I said, you know what, I need a YouTube channel.
So he got these tubes, and I applaud him for that. Now, I think he's stupid for not having patented it, but hey, that's
Yeah. So here's what my and these are my advice is fucking worth less than a fucking daily paper, or even a cup of coffee. But get yourself a good solid bio, one strong paragraph about why I want to hire Devin Moore on my show, and a website. And you know what? A lot of people don't have websites. Go to my Facebook page. I think if I look up the most famous comedians, the people who are actually making money and making a living at it, every single one of them actually has a real website.
Yeah, no, I've learned that too, and that's on the back burner right now.
Yeah,
trying to develop that.
Now, if you cannot afford your own website because it's not, well, I guess
free. If you go to WordPress, you can get one for free.
Yeah,
right. I was about to say that. Yeah. Thank you, Matt, for finishing my sentence. You complete me.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyway, we do wish you success. I mean, and good luck. And feel free to stop back in anytime and update us on the progress you're making on this. And good luck with your comedy aspirations. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, guys.
Have a great day. Bye for now. Devin Moore.
Actually, I just lied to you, Matt. You did not complete me. That's not what I was going to say.
I know.
I lied to your face.
You meant defeat, not complete.
No, you just. I was going to say to him, because he had mentioned the other comedians that he worked with, and they were kind of close. I was going to say that maybe if they perform together on a regular basis, get like a name for all three of them, that they can go by, and then let that be the name for that website. And then the three of them,
as good as your little draw the box for the camera.
And then the three of them can draw. They'll be drawing together to that site, and then they can have their own links to their own particular stuff as individuals. Right. So they can work as a group and still be individuals. So whatever they want to call themselves. If they want to call themselves the comedy chairman of the whatever, I don't give a shit what they call themselves. It's not my business.
His YouTube link is right there.
Yeah, let's get rid of that. Nobody needs to see
Dude,
that.
I'll tell you what though.
We're talking about me. Get rid
YouTube
of that.
Shorts. YouTube Shorts has been awesome though, dude. Like all of my joke videos that I've put on Shorts, like the one I uploaded the other day or yesterday or the day before is already at 2.6K
million.
My other ones, no, the other one's at 12K, 6.3K. Not bad.
I posted a video for the Reverend this morning, and it's already at 2.6 people.
Yeah, 2.6. I know it's
But I mean, 2,600 views and no hate on it.
I'm ask a question here about GD's 2.6 thing, and you're just bragging about your 2.6 whatever. Is that 0.6 person? Is that a dwarf or a midget?
Yeah, they're still in transition. Then once they decide where they're going, there'll be a whole person.
Oh my God, it's like they got too many issues going on there for me. Now you went to Devin's YouTube channel and actually, did you just watch one video or did you watch several of his videos?
I watched the one that he put the link in for.
Okay. How much time do you spend on YouTube? Because it seemed like you spent some significant time on Blind Mike's yesterday or the day before.
Here's the deal. I don't spend a lot of time on YouTube per se. Now, if I'm having trouble falling asleep, I'm usually falling asleep to TikTok. But and that's only because they keep feeding me things, and I try not to like stuff because I don't want them to hone in. You know, to hone in.
That's me.
Oh no, I don't want to look because that's what happened. The young lady that was on the show, I was trying to be supportive. I liked her video, and then I got inundated with J-pop videos. And to this day, because that was like one of the last things I liked. Now, so I will. And the thing is, I will like Steven's. I would like if you put a video on TikTok on Steven, I'll like it. They don't send me more of your guys' stuff. You know, they'll send me like if I'm on TikTok and I'll say I like Steven's video. I will see like 20 raccoon videos, 20 cat videos, 20 J-pop videos, and then I'll see the same video of Steven that I just liked, you know, an hour ago or something.
And do you leave a mop in a bucket for the puke?
No, only why. No, I spend a lot of time on Blind Mike's thing because whenever I get a notification that they're talking about me, I want to know what it is that they said.
Yeah, well, thank you for making me watch 2.5 hours of a show that they didn't say anything.
I thought I sent you the right link. That it was only 28 minutes long. I sent you the right link, and
I watched a show about Tim Dillon, and there was nothing about this show in that. I actually went to a channel to find the right.
Oh, I apologize. I sent you an apology, and I said my bad, and I sent you the 28-minute thing because I just cut out.
I don't think I ever got that.
Well, my phone says it sent it, and I apologize. Like I said, I sent an apology. I sent the link, and because I have it unlisted in my. I made a copy, and it's unlisted. You can only see that 28-minute thing if I send you the link. And so I sent you the link, and I apologize that you watched the whole thing.
No problem.
But just for the record, just so you know, if they don't dedicate the entire episode to me, I'm the last thing that they talk about.
Right. Even in the Tim Dillon thing, they did mention you a little bit at the end. This was from 2 weeks ago or something.
Right.
Yeah, you know, it is what. But I was like, am I?
The thing that frustrates me about them is that quite often they interrupt things and they answer that they're like, whoa. And like if you just let it run like 10 more seconds, the very question you asked is answered. You know,
I think my Blind Mike is a pretty funny guy. He makes me laugh. He reminds me of my college roommate, my first college roommate. He's got this kind of weird.
Moses.
He talks about like I can't go back to my people with this information. That stuff fucking gets me. So I like Blind Mike, and I hope we can foster some peace between him and John B. Because I don't think there needs to be another podcast or comedy war nonsense. Because they were gonna seek out Beavers now and try to trash him because of that.
Yeah, and if nothing else, and this is what like I said. But then again, I'm not a sensitive person in that regard. The fact that they attack me stuff like most of the time I'm laughing because of how stupid they are, not because they're actually funny. They're just so inept at some things. Sometimes they're just so inept at trashing me that it's funny to me.
Well, I never saw this guy, his producer or co-host, or that it was on the episode that I watched yesterday. He said, "Welcome back," like this guy has been missing or something.
Right.
But
His name is Craig or something like that. Now
I've
here's the
never
other
seen him on
thing.
anything.
Quite often he has people that work with him, but you
Yeah,
don't see their faces. They're
right.
icons.
Avatars or something, right?
Yeah,
Little,
avatars. Right. You're right. And so
yeah.
quite often I just see him and everybody else as an avatar. And I just assume that either they're too ugly, they don't want their faces shown, or they're just ashamed of
I
what
wish
they're
Steven
doing.
would catch some of that. I'm too ugly. Don't want my face shown.
But like I said, I don't know. But it's not my place. It's like I said, I don't harbor the negativity like that. I just don't like being misrepresented. That's the thing I can't stand the most.
Well, here's the
And
reason I asked you about YouTube, because I happen to know this about here's one thing I happen to know about GD. I don't know if you know this, Stephen, but GD is a big Christopher Titus fan. Did you know that? It's a big Christopher.
I am. I'm a huge
He's
Christopher
ignoring
Titus
me.
fan.
He's fucking ignoring
No.
me. You see that fucking fat Amish cocksucker ignoring me?
Whoa.
I know.
How do you
sorry
know
about
that
the
from
cocksucker.
YouTube? Because I haven't
Well,
clicked on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I watched Christopher Titus. He has Titus TV on YouTube.
Right.
And I'm wondering if you've seen this at all. He's got like 4 episodes. Well, it's all chopped up, so I don't even know the total of it. But it's hours and hours of content on the election was stolen. He has some guy who's a statistician and an analyst who's broken down all the stuff, and they make a very compelling argument for the 2024 election being stolen. I was just wondering.
I haven't seen it, and part of it is, to be honest, because we do this, like we're almost on air 15 hours a week. Almost.
Right,
it's
right.
like what 12 and a half hours a week. And then I have the Reverend, which is also live, another hour. After that, I don't want to see content for a while.
Right.
And not like and in the afternoons, like there's like a 2 or 3 hour period where my wife and I are just chilling. I just want to chill with my wife. I don't want to, we just chill on our phones and watch YouTube and TikTok videos. No, let me stop. But I just want to sit. I just want to sit and enjoy my wife's company sometimes.
Yeah. But while I am working, I'm generally listening to YouTube instead of, and it's got fed to me, this Christopher Titus thing. And at first, I just caught a short clip from it, and I was like, maybe they're, and I watched then like a 2.5 hour live stream that he does. He's got a pretty cool little setup there. But the guy he had on, although he was sweating a lot, like under the lights, somebody should have wiped his fucking fire. It was very distracting to watch this guy sweat. He made a very compelling argument to believe that, in fact, there was a lot of shenanigans going on, and that the 2024 election was definitely rigged. And
I mean, and the thing is, I'm already predisposed to believe that they attacked it. They attacked the election on like so many fronts that you just could not, because it's like a little here, a little here. They didn't do like one big sweeping thing where you could go like, whoa, shit, they stole 4,000. They stole 4 million votes. It's like, no, it's like 5,000 here, 10,000 here, 1,000 there, because they know it's a precinct thing.
Well, he addresses all that, and the statistician addresses all that in minutia, and it's very compelling the way he lays out the argument that it appears algorithmic, like when a certain number of votes to Harris got to a certain level, all of a sudden, boom, they got replaced by Trump votes. Like at exactly the moment they hit a specific number, like 300 counties or something just went boom. Like, and they all had the same machines, and it's just like, you know what? Nobody's going to pay attention to that. It's too late. But it burns my ass that nobody actually looked into this. Nobody with any power even suggested that, because they were so gun shy by the nonsense of Trump's big lie.
And
that they didn't even want to approach it. They didn't want to sound like
that. I know you are. What am I syndrome?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's people. That is what you have to. If you know the truth, or you really believe in your truth, stand by your truth. Don't sit here and back off because you're afraid of what people are going to say about you. I mean, look at fucking Giuliani. Okay, the man's a liar. He won't even stand by the things that he'll talk about the stolen this evidence and that evidence, and when he went to court, he had to say, "I didn't have any evidence."
Right.
I'm sorry. Okay, but up until that point, he stood by his lie. But what I'm trying to say is, and I said,
even walking out after he said, "I don't have any evidence," he went back to the lie. That's how
yes, yeah, they went right back to their lie.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm saying to the Democrats and or even, you know, I don't care if you're a Democrat or not. If you have an ounce of integrity and truth, stand by it. You know, don't back down. Don't be afraid of what people call you. Don't do that. You're dishonoring. You're disservicing yourself. You're disservicing the people that you're trying to help and reach. Don't do it.
Right.
Speaking of me, no, that's not. Dylan's coming on tomorrow, and I wanted to ask him about something because every time I talk to him, I keep forgetting to ask him. I don't think that him and Titus are having a feud because I don't track things like that.
Oh.
But Christopher Titus had said something, and Dylan goes, "Dude, you know I love you, but I can't be on board with this." I can't remember what it was about. He's like, I don't, But he goes, "You know I love you, but I don't, we just have to disagree on this." And I was,
wow.
And I didn't know if they like knew each other, because I would just think it's kind of strange that the two most influential comedians in my head, not in my life or my material, but in my head, my headspace, knew each other, and I didn't even know, it's just a weird thing.
Doesn't surprise me that they know each other.
Yeah, but I didn't know if they like knew each other or they just like Facebook know each other.
And I think they kind of, maybe I'm speaking out of school here. I think they kind of agree on most things on the political front.
Yeah, they do. They are like they pretty much agree on so much stuff. And it was like that one thing. It was like, and I can't even remember what it was because it's been so long. I forgot to ask because I've talked to Dylan like maybe 5 or 6 times since I've seen it, and I still forget to ask him.
Dylan's a very emotional guy, and I don't see him on Twitter. I used to see him on Twitter.
He wears his heart on his sleeve. I guess if that's what you mean by emotional. He wears his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah, I've seen him like I was gonna say on Twitter. He was responding to Kelly Collin, and it became very personal. Like, Kelly, I thought I love you so much, and you ignored me. And like, I don't think this is a public play. Call her up. To do this. But
that's what I mean by friends. Like, I don't know. Like, Dylan and I are, for a while, Dylan and I were like friends because we worked on Politipod together, but we never like worked together. And then he did the workshop where, I could, we'd see each other on Zoom calls once a week. We were working together like that. But we still didn't have each other's phone numbers. We weren't friends like that. Same with like Christopher Titus. Wherever he saw me, he knew who I was and we could talk for like 20, 30 minutes. But we never exchanged phone numbers. I never called him. I never talked to him outside of those. That's what I mean by friends. It's like now, like Jackie Martling and you are friends. Okay, you can pick up the phone right now and call Jackie, and he'd be like, "Yo, what's up? What's up, my gay friend?"
You know what? If I call Jackie, if I pick up the phone and call Jackie, he's gonna say, "I'm watching TV with the wife. Call me later." And then he will text me, "You fucking queer. Call me at 3:00."
Yeah, but as many times he's been on the show, I have his phone number. I will text him. I don't call him. But I consider him a friend only because he at least responds back to my text. But we're not like friends. We're not buddies. He doesn't feel comfortable enough to when I text him, he doesn't say, "Leave me alone, queer." We're not friends like that. The two of you are friends.
Yeah, he's my friend.
Yeah, see, and that's what I mean by friends. Like, are Dylan and Titus friends, or are they just like me and Jackie are friends?
Yeah. So now is he based in LA? Christopher Titus, do you know?
Yeah, they both. Yeah.
Because it seemed, I thought from watching this thing, I was getting confused. Is he from Pennsylvania? Because he seemed to know an awful lot about Pennsylvania politics.
You mean, is Dylan from Pennsylvania? Dylan, I think, was raised in...
Christopher Titus. He was talking because he was talking like he knew Erie County and whatever, Allegheny County.
He does. I mean, he may research places that he tours. Comedians, when you go to places, you research it so you can do a little bit of local stuff.
Yeah.
That's possible. I know one of the things I used to do, if I was asked to do a clean set, but I didn't want to rewrite my material, when I go to a place, I would learn the local politicians' names. And I would tell the audience up front, I said, this is what's happening. I've been asked to do a clean show. I don't do clean comedy. So, but I said, instead of the F-bomb, I will use Congressman Richards. So when I say Congressman Richards, I'm saying MF or whatever. And I will, and since I actually don't cuss that often, it's really not that hard for me to do. I just, you're senator, Senator, Susan Collins, instead of, that cunt, I'll go, look, instead of me saying cunt, I'm just going to say Susan Collins, and that
Jody Ernst. You heard about Jody Ernst, right?
Well, it depends on where I'm performing. If I was performing in her state, and I would say, look, instead of me saying the C word, I'm going to say Joni Ernst. Okay. And that kind of thing. I would substitute local politicians for curse words. And so,
you know what Joni said?
Everybody, and she didn't lie. Everybody dies. It's just that the way. It's just when she said it. That would be like if you're a doctor. You walk in. You're a doctor, and you go in to see your patient. And your patient goes, "Doctor, I don't feel so good." And it goes like, "Well, everybody dies."
Yeah, it's not like she was talking about science either. She was talking about, well, we're cutting Medicaid, and that means people are going to die. Children and old people are going to die. And then she said, well, everybody dies. Well, yeah, but we don't want to. We don't want to foster that, like people dying before they should. But just the idea. Oh yeah, everybody. Well, you should fucking die right now, you fucking cunt. I'm sorry. No, I'm not trying. No, scared. See, this is not the issue here. I want to make peace. You should not be scared, but I think there's a misunderstanding here. I could definitely see where he got the impression that you were being hypocritical. Now, I know you weren't. I know that I'm talking for people on the radio. I'm talking to Slaptail right now because he just posted, I'm so scared they're going to trash me. Bring it on. My only feeling is anger. I don't want you to feel anger. I want the peace in the comedy world, in the podcasting world, in the entertainment world. And I think this is just a big misunderstanding. I understand that you thought he was chicken out. You sincerely thought he was chicken out. I did not think that, because why would he go through all the trouble of saying yes and send me the link and all that stuff? But I see that John actually felt that way, and Ron felt that way, and Steven, although he kind of wussied about it, on the fence there, like a little sissy girl that he is.
No, I'm not on the fence.
Let me finish. But I could see where Blind Mike got that impression, because you were there 1 minute. As soon as he showed up, you were gone. Now he got in. He didn't see the rest of it. That's all he knows is you called him a pussy and then weren't there to talk to him to his face. So he got that impression. I would like to clear that up, and I think you guys could actually be allies and friends, not necessarily buddy. You don't have to go out for a beer with the guy, but I don't see there's any reason to be an enemy like I am with Steven. Now, Steven, go ahead. Tell me that I'm wrong, that you're not a little pussy fence riding cunt.
No, well, I was admitting where I was wrong, because he did show up. The guy did show up. He did talk it out with GD and with you. He stood his ground, made his case. And like I said, my only gripe with the guy is that I wish he was more upfront with the people he was going to critique. That's it.
Well, he did say you were a little short with them when you were on the phone. He was like trying to tell you, no, I really can't connect. And he was getting this attitude like, I think you lie and you just don't want to come on. Like, why would I fucking call you if I didn't want to come on?
Here's the thing. I don't do passive aggressive. So if the dude was annoying me or pissing me off, I would have told him like, hey, quit being a fucking pussy and figure it out. And I would have hung up on him. But that wasn't how I was feeling towards the guy. I didn't know what to tell the guy. Like, so on the flip side of things, I might be doing a bringer show.
A what?
So you want me to? You're asking me to show up there? What? I don't understand.
A bringer show.
You're trying to bring us? You're trying to bring us?
Why would you do that?
So the local, the only comedy club and the only real comedy club in Fort Wayne, Summit City Comedy Club, they haven't done since that company has owned that club. This company hasn't done a bringer show. They've been weary about it, so they've decided to invite the heavy hitters from the open mics who have been showing up, putting in the work, showing that they have the material, and they're giving them an opportunity to sell tickets. They get 75% of the take, and then it's a full-on advertised show at Summit City. And then in the email, it states, obviously doing this show could potentially lead to other booking opportunities in the future with Barker Entertainment. So figured, why not?
That sounds like bait and switch to me. Here, Stephen, here's a carrot. Here, go get it.
I just wanted to address something that you said earlier about. I'm sorry, Stephen. Go ahead.
No, it very well could be a bait and switch, but I mean, it's only 10 tickets to sell, and I've put in enough work at Summit that enough people know who I am that I think I can sell 10 tickets. So,
yeah.
Matt, you had asked about whether or not you couldn't remember whether or not Ron had participated. He did participate for a while, and it was mainly the when he was the most vocal was when you were basically, I don't want to say chiding, whatever, when you were talking about that if you're a new comedian, like within the first year or so, don't be putting out a 2-hour show or something like that.
Right.
And Ron was like really joining in with that. That's when what's his face, Blind Mike goes, I think you guys just invited me on so that you could attack GD.
Yeah. No, we don't need him for that. We attack you daily without his help.
Yeah, but you never attacked that thing like that.
I wasn't attacking.
Me and GD are like the testicles of the show.
Listen,
we take all the beating and then we keep coming.
Yeah, that's not a critique of your talent or any of that stuff. It's a critique of one decision, a business decision that I thought was like really questionable. And I don't think you would, if somebody else in that same position, I don't think you would advise them to do that today.
I wouldn't advise or not advise. That's it. It depends what they, I know.
He advises on depends.
Right. I am a prolific writer. Okay. Right. Some people would have if they did a 90-minute set in their first 2 years of comedy, that would have robbed them of their material for the next 5 years.
I disagree. I don't think that is robbing yourself or losing material.
A lot of people don't have the material. They just burn. It's like they're afraid to show 1 or 2 jokes on YouTube because it'll burn their material. And I'm not afraid of that.
I don't believe in that either.
Yeah, I have more to come. And like I said, also my motive was different. I don't know what their motive is. My motive is that I'm going to die before anybody gives a shit enough to give me a special. So I'm going to record it while I can, when I can, so that when I'm gone or as I'm leaving, I can at least say, look, I tried. This is what I was doing then.
I have 2 bits that...
I'm sorry, Stephen. I'm bulldozing here.
You're good.
I put a lot of thought into this over the last week or so about my body of work, and there is not one complete piece from start to finish that I am proud of. Literally proud of it as a whole. Everything that I've ever published, I think there are elements to be proud of within there, but as a whole, there is nothing that I've ever put out there that I'm really satisfied with or even proud of that. Hey, look what I did. And
right.
Most people would say, well, if you weren't proud of it, why did you publish it? Because I put all the work into it, and I just why not? Why just leave it buried here? Maybe somebody will see the few moments that are worthy to be proud of.
And I'm kind of like that, only I didn't look at it as, first of all, in real time, I knew the disasters that was happening on that show. It was like from the moment I walked in, and didn't have the stage set up the way they said they'd have this set up. The fact, the people that produced the show reached out to me because I had headlined there 5 times at that club or that venue. I headlined there 5 times. I'd headlined there, and so I did good work every time. It was, they sold their 50 seats or whatever. Now so I wasn't like a newbie there. I had something of a following there. But when they approached me and said, they want to do this, because they used to make independent films. They were an independent film company. Like the opening credit of that show, it's their logo, their theme music, this is their production. And then they get to put, I think, the Sojidi Funny thing on there later, but it was their production. They had never produced a comedy show, and they wanted to do that. They wanted to get their foot into producing comedy shows. So they reached out to me because, they said, okay, it's like a learning thing for both of us. They're learning how to shoot comedy and do it. And, you've got the material. This would be like, I said, okay, great, fine. I said, we even had an alcohol sponsor. And there were a lot of promises made in the beginning. And it was supposed to have been 2 shows back, and then we would take the best of the 2 shows. And we wound up just doing 1. I was okay, that's fine. But the thing that really pissed me off was that the stage was supposed to have one all black curtain, because that was what I wanted. I wanted a black curtain for all of my sets, so that I could cut and splice things as I got older.
But then nobody would be able to see you except for your eyes and your teeth.
Well, that's okay, because it's the jokes that's important. And when I got there and they didn't have that screen, they just had the movie projector screen, or my choices were that or the door behind me, which was a glass door, not even a wood door. It was like a glass door. You could see all the storage stuff behind it. I said, okay, well, pull the screen down so that people don't see your storage room. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that there were so many failures that stopped it from being the good thing that it could have been. And even the original DVD was only 90 minutes. They cut out the shortcomings. And I was like, okay, I'm going to show flaws and all. The 220, the whatever it is, the 2 hour.
Just for anybody's interested, I have a new 8-track coming out this week. An 8-track cartridge. It's called The Best of Matt Napo. It will be available for $19.95. Stephen's sleeping again. Wake him up.
No, I'm not sleeping.
You what?
But literally, if there are people out there who are fans of Blind Mike you're watching, I do have other material. Or if you want to watch it without their commentary, it's available. You can watch it yourself.
It's available on 8-track.
Yeah, without being stopped every 3 seconds and go like, what? You can see the whole thing without. And a couple of people have done that. But I have other things other than that. Just go to my website, sojidifunny.com, and there's like 3 or 4 shows that you can watch.
Okay, then. I'm switching gears a little bit.
I'm not just talking about me. So
yeah, no, I think we are. Well, I'm kind of exhausted by that.
I still got 23 minutes to talk about me.
Well, I don't think you have 23 minutes because I do feel like we are on the precipice. You like that word, Stephen? Precipice, because that's when you press and you piss.
Yeah, that's like squeezing your glands.
Right. It's like when you have prostate trouble and you got to stick a finger behind your balls to get the last squirt out.
I'm good.
I like that, man. You mind if I use that when I talk about how old I am now?
Sure.
Can I use this?
Yeah, precipice.
Yeah.
I think we're on the precipice of some tragedy of biblical proportions. I think something, I don't want to say World War III, whatever. I feel like some terrorist attacks. Last night we had this guy. This is a terrible thing. You're mad at what's going on in Gaza, so you go to Colorado and you throw Molotov cocktails at little kids in Colorado who happen to be Jewish, but they're not part of the war in Gaza, and you're just taking it out on innocent people. I think we're on the verge of something really ugly. It's going to happen. Really,
I don't think you're wrong. I've had this weird gut feeling that there's something bad that's going to happen. I've always had this very similar
weird gut feeling. Good brew, bro, for that.
No. I'm pooping regular, man. I'm actually really healthy. I'm good. I'm the healthiest alive. But no, there's I just had this gut feeling that something bad's coming, man. I've had it for like probably the last 6 months, maybe, but even more so the last like 3 months.
Yeah. Somebody on Twitter, because this guy Mohammed Solomon is his guy's name, who has been arrested for the attack in Colorado. Somebody on Twitter says, "Why is a Jew hater named Mohammed Solomon even in the country in the first place?" And I want to say, well, why is a Jew hater named Mel Gibson in the country in the first place? He's an immigrant and a Jew hater. You got no problem with that. Let me see.
Why are there Jew haters in the cabinet?
Yeah. But it's obvious that the difference between the immigrant Mel Gibson, white guy, Christian, Catholic, whatever, and Mohammed Solomon, who was a Jew hater. Why, if you're going to go down by it's just ignorance. I mean, there are plenty of Muslim people in America with names like Mohammed Solomon or whatever who are not going to throw Molotov cocktails at children because of a war that's going on. So to label him as, well, look at his name, he's a Jew hater. Then you have Catholic white people who are Jew haters, who are immigrants that you don't even care about, and they have much bigger profiles. And obviously, Mel Gibson's not throwing Molotov cocktails at little kids either. But right? But he would. He would. But believe me, this guy is full of hate for Jews. I mean, big time.
He would set up a camera crew, but the cameras would be empty, and he would tell the kids, "Okay, this is for a movie," and then they don't realize that he's just not recording it. He's just throwing the bombs, and then he leaves.
Right. So now Trump yesterday morning, or maybe it was the day before, put out this thing on Truth Social where he was reposting conspiracy theories that Biden had been killed and replaced with a fucking clone robot. And he reposted that for purposes of getting people outraged and getting them distracted and complaining about that on Twitter. And it worked. People jumped. It's like a fucking chum in the water to these fucking people. They can't resist reacting to something like that when that is his entire intention. It's not like he really believes this. They're trying to say that, no, well, this proves he's fucking crazy, he's shot. He might be crazy and shot and dementia and all that stuff, but his sole reason for putting that out there is to distract from all the other crap that's going on. The fact that Doge ends up costing people more money than it didn't save them anything. It's going to end up costing me. Let's distract from that. Let's get people talking about this fucking ridiculous tweet. Mm-hmm. That's his whole purpose, and people just fall for it every time. I wish we could come to a place where your mother just ignore the bully and it'll go away. I think that's what needs to be done is just ignore him, not repost any of his stuff, not react to it and all that stuff. But people can't help themselves. So, and they're all acting like, oh, the Dems couldn't tell if he was a robot or Joe Biden. Yeah, we definitely, everybody could tell if it was a robot or Joe Biden because the robot would be better. The robot wouldn't continue stuttering, would it? Let's make a clone and have it just full of dementia.
Yeah. Let's spend millions of dollars on technology and make him worse than the original.
Right, and make him look like a fool in a debate. We're gonna put out a clone there who just can't fucking get through an hour with a fucking half retard orange fuck and beat him in a debate. That's what we're gonna do with our robotic technology.
Yeah, man.
That's where our state of robotics is. We fucking failed. We can forget about Mars. We ain't making it to fucking Mars.
Okay, what we did. I stand corrected. We did replace him with a robot. We replaced him with a robot that looked like Kamala Harris in the second debate.
Oh, yeah.
That was the improved robot model that we used, and she did clean his clock.
Yeah.
I mean, matter of fact, she replaced his clock. Matter of fact, he doesn't even have a clock. He was resorted back to a sundial.
Yeah. So, I just the bottom line is I think something big, and who knows timeline. I don't know if you know this. Anonymous generally when they make predictions, they come true.
Mm-hmm.
Generally.
But they also manipulate the algorithms to help with those predictions. They're good at their computer stuff.
The real anonymous guys have their hands in a lot. They have their eyes and ears are in a lot of places, and their predictions are usually pretty close.
So on June 23rd, they came out with a prediction that in 6 weeks, something bigger than we've ever experienced in the world of politics is going to blow the lid off of everything that we know about politics and change the world dramatically.
Yeah, Trump's going to go for
around
third
June
term.
30th. Comes around to. I thought it was. They were pointing to the military parade, or they were, on the 14th or whatever is going to happen. Comes out to the date is around June 30th. That's the prediction. I mean, they're usually right when they make.
I bet. I wonder if Trump's going to try third term, because I've been seeing the hashtag Trump 2028 everywhere.
Right. So you got cut out there. What were you saying? I wonder if it's, and that's what we got out of that.
No, I was saying I wonder if Trump's going to go third term.
Oh, that's no doubt about that.
But I wonder if he's going to announce that.
He definitely is gonna do. I already announced that Steve Bannon has said they're working on legislation to do it. But even if they don't pass legislation, they're just going to do it anyway. That's not something that's of the level that Anonymous is talking about. That is just going to blow the lid off of anything we've ever seen politically before, because that has actually happened before.
I think it's an Elon Musk Donald Trump sex tape.
Could be something like that. Now, here's
they finally found the P tape.
Here's how we don't pay, because I kind of caught it in the corner of my ear, right over here. Friday morning, when we listened to the News in 60, they were talking about Elon Musk's ketamine and mushroom problem and all these drugs he was taking, and Adderall and all this stuff. Alan Edwards had that. And then later that day, it was like big news on social media. And that night, I saw Stephen posting, "Wow, I can't believe this." It's like, this proves how little we even listened to Al, because Al talked about that first thing in the morning. We didn't give him any credit in the News in 60. And it was news later that day. So sometimes Al is actually current with this news, which is.
If I may be so bold as to make a suggestion to the anonymous people, and I'm saying this because they are so much better at what they do than I am at what I do. They're really good at what they do. If you really have earth-shattering information, in the world of politics, release it a half an hour before Trump's great big parade, so that nobody covers the parade. They cover the earth-shattering politic news.
Well, this is not what they're not saying they're releasing anything, or
I'm just saying if it's something they can release, do it then. That's what I'm saying. If they're waiting for something to happen, it won't happen until then. That's different. But if they know something that they're waiting to release something, release it a half an hour before Trump's parade to piss on his parade.
What should happen on June 14th is Bruce Springsteen, Taylor Swift, and anybody else who has a big name should put on a free show in like Philadelphia, someplace close to DC, to draw all the attention away from that.
Or do it in DC, just blocks away.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
but I don't know. But whatever, they're predicting something that's already in the works. I'm not sure they have anything to release, and I don't know. Because if they predict it, could that put a stop to? You know what I mean? If they know about something and they put stuff out there, does that give like the Nazis a chance to preempt it and stop it? And so I'm not sure you want to do that. You want to let it happen, right? I think. Unless it's a terrorist attack on the United States. Who knows?
Did we say hi to Ian yet?
No. Hello, Ian.
What the hell?
Wow, the revs of the chat room. Weird.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
All right.
When did you give Rev a phone?
Oh, he's had a phone.
He's got a phone. Come on, man.
He's got his own email account and his own YouTube account. His own
his
own Facebook account.
So
he used to be popular before this.
Wednesday, I made a mistake. I actually Guy Morris is supposed to be on. in the evening program. I have him listed as part of the morning program. We have a psychic on Wednesday morning, and I thought we had Guy Morris. Guy Morris was one of the original video game engineers from way back in the 80s and stuff, and then it's progressed. Now he's an AI expert. He's supposed to be on the program Wednesday night. I was kind of hoping to go to Tony's to have a rehearsal of this fucking Knock 'em Dead show that I have to do on Friday. They're having a rehearsal Wednesday night. But Guy Morris won't be with us, even though he's still listed as for Wednesday morning. We have a psychic lady. What's her name? What's the psychic lady's name? Come on.
June Burke?
I don't know.
Actually, I think June Burke is probably dead by now because she was like in her 60s when I first met her 30 years ago.
Yeah. And then Thursday, you guys are doing the show without me. And then Friday, Jackie Martling will be here. And tomorrow.
And I'm going to see if I can reach out to. I'm not. Sorry. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to reach out to some of.
I'm sorry. You said something.
I'm going to reach out to some of the people who expressed interest on being on the show, and let them know that we have a spot on Thursday.
All right. I would love to talk to Tom Myers again at some point if you can get him back on the show when I'm going to be here. I'm not going to be here Thursday, but you could have him on Thursday if you want. But I'm just saying, if we could get Tom on when I'm on sometime in the future, that would be good. I'd like to talk to him about how him and Tucker Carlson have gotten together and conspired to change America's laughing pattern.
They had a love connection. Chuck Wolver. We're back in 2 and 2. Whatever that is.
What's going on? Do you hear that? What's going on? I don't know. I can't. I should know this woman's name. Why isn't she on my calendar? Do you know? No,
I don't know. So, Stephen, by chance, did you watch the Brave New World Captain America one?
Mm-hmm.
I just watched it the other day. I watched it.
I've seen it 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and Friday we got Ken.
I liked it.
Ken Miller also with Jackie. Ken Miller is on in the morning, and then Jackie. Amy Jo Ellis is the psychic Friends Network we're having on. 48.
And that's Wednesday.
That's Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah. The Court of Atonement is what we're going to talk about. The Court of Atonement. I guess that's her book about how we deal. You know what? I'm thinking about end of life type things. How many things have I not forgiven myself for? The fucking mistakes I made when I was a kid and still carry around guilt or shame or regret and all this stuff. Might do me some good to talk to this lady about what atonement means. I got a lot to atone for.
To me, atonement just means I'm another shade darker.
I feel bad about bullying Steven as much as I did, calling him a pedophile, cuck, joke thief, Amish fat bastard, big head fucking retard, cunt lip, whatever I called him. All those things. I feel bad about those. And
you can't stop it.
Yeah, I can't stop myself. No, I'm just wondering if I'm just born to be an asshole. I might be.
Maybe.
All right. You have nothing to atone for, Steven?
Oh, I'm sure I have plenty to atone for.
I'm sure you probably that's not. It's yes or no. It's not.
I do. I do. I've gotten in a lot of unnecessary fights. I've been mean to a lot of people for no reason. I've made fun of a lot of people that I shouldn't have. Called names when I shouldn't have.
So I'll see you in hell. I mean, GD,
oh yeah,
of course.
Well,
GD
my tombstone's gonna say probably. My tombstone's gonna say probably in hell because there's only a stairway to heaven. So
right, yeah, that's just a very old Landau joke that you just keep rehashing. But what? GD will never admit to any regrets, any faults, any nothing. GD thinks he's fucking perfect, doesn't he? He thinks he walks.
None of that is true.
Yes, it is. All right, admit to a mistake here. Come on.
Being friends with you. No.
That's fair.
That definitely that. Yeah. We got that to atone for.
And that's it. That's what you're going to say when St. Peter says, "What'd you
That's
do
the
wrong?"
precipice of atonement.
Well, first, I'm going to, if by chance heaven is set up like that, and I go to the pearly gates, and Peter says, "What have you done wrong?" My answer is going to be, "Well, what have you heard?" I want to know what you know before I start confessing.
It's not what you know.
That trap door's going to open so quick.
You're going to say to Peter, "It's not what you know; it's what you can prove." You want to go home? You want to go to jail?
It's not what you know. What you prove is what you can convince people of.
Right. This is from the movie Training Blazing Saddles Day. So this is Devin Moore's big debut on the program. I thought, first of all, he was going to be upset that I was giving him just the mildest advice to get a bio. Get a fucking bio. Especially after all we talked about on the show. Does nobody go back and like, what kind of show am I getting on? Oh, they're going to talk about bios. I guess I should have a bio by the time I go on that show. One paragraph. What do you do? Steven's looking the other way and the other way. What's going on? You got traffic jams going on behind you over there? He's not even listening to me. He's not responding. He's muted. He's muting himself when he talks because that's what he does.
Sorry.
Oh, it sounds like this little kid in the back. Sounds like this little kid in the back.
My girlfriend's kid is.
Yeah.
No, my girlfriend's kid just woke up.
Ian, will you be here for the psychic? Maybe we got to do a reading. How about that? Well, I've been a while since.
I'm down. Let's see what they find out.
Open up a phone line and have somebody call in and do a psychic reading. What do you think? See,
let's try it. Let's see.
Steven's got kids walking around behind him again. This is a problem, ladies and gentlemen. I thought there was like 500 feet. No, that was not quite 500 feet. She was more like less than 5 feet behind you.
I think if they have parental consent, I think that's what, if you read it correctly, I think like unsupervised within 500 yards or 500 feet is unsupervised. But if she's there, it's supervised. Or if she has there's consent involved. So,
all right.
But of course, I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on podcasts.
Are you a retard?
No, that's not what we want to ask.
I used to play in an orchestra before I get kicked out for playing for Black Woman.
The question I really want to ask:
Are you high right now?
Yes.
Are you high right now?
No.
Are you going to be soon? See, this is the problem with you. What's going on, Steven? Mute yourself while you're.
What do you mean?
I'm trying to tell GD what's wrong with him. What's wrong with you is you're not high right now, and you don't have any plans on getting high in the
near future. GD, come on, figure it out, man.
I have the white weed. I have the white weed.
Well,
weed is for passengers loading and unloading only.
I know, dude. You sent me that picture, and I could feel it from here. I was like, "Whoa!"
Tonight I have the thing with Barry Katz. We're talking to Ed Bass. Is it Bassmaster or Bassmaster?
It's Ed Bassmaster, and I was confused at your message yesterday. And I will tell you what, I'm a huge fan of Ed Bassmaster's videos. I'm a huge fan of. No. He made comedic content. He's been doing stand up for a while, but I think he started making content on like Twitch, or not Twitch, but Vine and TikTok and all of that, and on social media. He would create characters and stuff. He did like the "Would you look at that? Would you just look at it?" He does that guy. He does the psh guy. And he translated that to a stand-up show. And I saw him live last year or 2 years ago, and he was okay. Like it wasn't like, I don't know. It was funny.
What I was going to say to him. I was going to ask him to call you and leave you a message. I was about to say, my friend Steven is a big fan of yours. Would you call him and leave him a voicemail? That's what I was going to ask him to do.
He sat on my lap.
Yeah. And I was going. Matter of fact, I'm going to download that picture and I'm going to have it in the background when I'm talking to him.
No, look, the show was funny. But it was definitely a lot more crowd work than it was material. Like you said, it was very much just crowd work stuff.
Yeah, and it wasn't even good crowd work. It just sucked. The only reason why people were laughing is because he was picking on people that were being like ignorant or stuff. And even then, it was like the
It's
whole
the
crowd
voice.
was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's the voices and the characters that he does mixed with how he picks on people with the crowd, and it's chuckle worthy, but
it was a big bore for me. It was like, really, I've seen. This is to me like the quality of stuff I see at open mics.
So basically, it's like this show, a big bore.
No, because we don't have like 1.3 million followers.
Bazillion?
1.3 million followers. We don't have that.
Yeah, at Bassmaster or this Bassmaster guy.
At least that, yeah. I could be underestimating. I'm just going by the number that I think I remember. I know it's like 1.3 or 1.6 with a big M, and I'm assuming it means million and not men.
Damn.
Like,
maybe a lot of people are tuning in expecting a fishing show. Bassmaster.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's like his content online is always hilarious because it's like man on the streets type stuff. Like he'll dress up in his character, and he'll interact with people in the wild, and it's funny, and it's a good watch.
He's billed as a prankster, and so like I said, I'm going to be there this evening, and I may not even have anything intelligent to contribute.
Yeah,
but I'm going to be there because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Now, are these well attended? These Barry Cats Monday nights?
Well, the ones I'm doing are by invitation. So like I'm part of a group of people that he invited for, and that's usually about 27 people.
You know why you got invited? You know why you got invited? You want to know why you got invited?
He has a black guy to ignore.
No, because you have that rock star energy.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. That grok star energy.
Yeah. Rock star?
Yeah, I'm going to get an next
rock star energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I guess because I do have plans to get high today. And this is the most important thing on my agenda for today, because the rest of the week I'm kind of swamped. So if I can get high, I'm going to do it today. I'm going to smoke a little
white. If you guys are bored, you can come by and help me cut a tree. I'm still cutting it up.
Right. All right. So this is a way to wrap this up today. Tomorrow we have Dylan, but Dylan's not going to be on until the second hour because it's very early for him.
Yes.
He's on the West Coast. So we got an hour to kill before he gets here. Let's think of something not fucking sucky to talk about. How about that?
Talk about me. Oh, you said not sucky.
We need to send. I wish we could send Carl a permanent link, man, because I keep forgetting to send him a link.
I'll deal with that with StreamYard. Why does he want to come today? And we didn't know for something.
No, but he said he has a lot of time, and I keep forgetting to send him one just in case. I mean, he might be busy today, but
yeah, Carl's always busy. He says he has a lot of time, but you know what? There's beer to be drunk.
And it's not like Carl can't get in the room and say, "Can you send me a link?" Well,
StreamYard, for some reason, before this whole debacle with StreamYard, like increasing their prices by like 400, 500%, whatever they did, they knew I was a grandfathered in customer from the day they launched the company. I was a member of StreamYard, so they gave me an extra seat rather than having to buy 5 extra seats for whatever it was. They just threw one in, and then after I went to that other Streamlabs and then came back here. We don't have that extra seat anymore because that was always Carl's seat. I feel like maybe we should take that. I don't know. Ron needs it because he comes every Friday. I need to get one more seat.
Thursday,
And that, I don't know, custom studio where the link is always the same. That's fine, but you can't schedule stuff way in advance. You can only schedule one show at a time. So the minute that show ends, you got to. That's no good.
Right.
Nothing's good. We need one more seat, StreamYard. Tell them about it. And then we'll get on it. All right. I'm going to tell people to, what to do and all that stuff. And then we'll meet back here tomorrow. Dylan Brody. Dylan Unplugged. We'll probably talk about when Dylan plugged in Newport Jazz Festival in 1966 when Dylan was only 5 years old.
So Dylan's been doing comedy for like... a lot.
He's younger than us. Did you know that about him? He's younger than us.
I think yeah. But he started doing comedy like when he was like 17 or 18. He was performing in Europe and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think
61.
he went to Europe.
So I'm thinking his mother named him Dylan because Bob Dylan was the fucking biggest star in the world when he was
That's probably the case. Yeah.
All right. All right. So let's get out of here. Tell everybody, Steven. Tell them what to do.
Fuck off.
Hey, don't forget to turn on your
Grok
radio.
Here. Grok here.
Are you high right now? Are you high right now? Are you high right now? Are you high right now?
Listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.